Right, everyone, welcome to the China Grand Prix. Mysteriously, my keyboard is now working from yesterday, which is great. Although I am trying to get the chat up, so let me try and get that up. But yeah, Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc. Q3 incident involving Russell will be investigated after the session, failing to follow race directors. Q3 incident involving car 63, no further action. So it looks like Russell was investigated, but no further action. Right, let me get this chat up another way. Ah, genius. Pop out chat. Yes. Absolutely. Went to my own stream and liked it. 11 likes. As you come into the stream, feel free to absolutely destroy that like button. Welcome, Vladka. Morning. Ollie Leo watching from Helsinki. Very nice. Are you supporting Valtteri Bottas? Bahrain and Saudi called off. I think it's official now, isn't it? Don't know what took them so long, frankly. Welcome, KDB, as well. My predictions: Russell, Hamilton, Anthony, then Leclerc. No, I think. I wonder if Kimi will win this race. That's all I'm going to say. No, that's not all. I'm going to say a lot more than that. I wonder if Kimi will win it. I don't see the Ferraris beating out the Mercedes. Can Michael Owusu, can Russell's car make it the whole length of the race? Well, this is what I spoke about in my post show. It's going to be a little bit of a concern for Mercedes. Maybe it's going to be a glimmer of hope for everyone else, because it hasn't been smooth sailing. What I would take away from it is that Mercedes seem to be able to deal with these issues very well. They dealt with rebuilding Kimi's car very well in Melbourne, and they managed to fix the gearbox issue with George's car very well as well yesterday. So the way I interpret it is it's quite ominous, to be honest, for the other teams. And Michael, we scored the emojis out. Welcome, Chara, as well. Rooting for Kimi here would be an incredible feat for him to not only have his record pole, but also a GP win in the very same weekend. Yeah, I don't think he gets the credit. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. Especially last year when the Mercedes wasn't the best car. It was good last year, but it wasn't the best car. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves, in my opinion. It's not like Hamilton came in his first season as a rookie and was in a McLaren that was basically, with the Ferrari, the fastest car. And it's not like Vettel, who, as soon as he went to Red Bull, had the fastest car, clearly in qualifying. Kimi's first season he didn't, but he still was getting records. So, yeah, I don't think he gets credit. Welcome, Eric Von Eric, Martin Hampson as well, Yanis as well. Professor Logic, here we go. Welcome to Siabaska. V-Neck. Aid, apparently spring starts tomorrow in Japan. Looking forward to Suzuka next week. Yeah, so it was not next week, it's a week after. It's not a triple header. Although I think F1, well, they can't do it because there's too much. Maybe F1 needs to structure itself a bit like they can all get on like a couple of planes and actually go racing anywhere at short notice. Then they could do like a random race. You know, like they do like random holidays. You go to the airport and they don't let you know where the plane's landing. I think Formula 1 should do that, so we don't know where they're going to race next weekend. But everyone's guessing. They book out multiple tracks to, like, you know, make it difficult. Professional logic, I'm so confused about these power units. I've been driving a bunch with the RSS 26 car, and I don't understand how the deployment actually works. So a lot of the deployment is automatic, right? It's in the map. It's not like the drivers are constantly pressing buttons, as I understand it. Although they can press buttons. It looks like the Mercedes do press buttons on the straight. Warning flat cut. The AMG UK seems to be decoupled from the battery itself. You've also got the legal amount of deployable energy, but also you have the state of charge in the battery, and those are two different things. So you might legally be allowed to deploy, and the car actually might kind of think that it's deploying, but if the battery is empty, then it's not actually deploying. I think that can cause big problems for the drivers. And I think at this early stage of the season in the cars, there's more of these issues where there is actually no charge in the battery. Welcome, Gina Kim. Good morning. Good idea, but they wouldn't sell any tickets. But I think they would, though. I think they would. That's the thing. I think it'd become a massive thing, and also they'd work with an airline partner because they're all sponsored by Etihad and Ryanair and everyone. They'd work with those partners and put on a load of flights from major airports. I think it would be a thing. I think it'd be a cool thing. I think they should totally do it. The random race. And given that they're dropping so many great circuits, like Spa's dropping off, it's not permanent, Catalonia's not permanent, Imola's not there, you could bring back these incredible circuits. Are all batteries made by the same manufacturer? I don't think so, actually, unlike Formula E. In Formula E, I think the batteries are made by Williams, if I remember. I think they're made by Williams. I might be wrong. How come I don't have Antonelli here? Did I move something? Yes, I did, somehow. Welcome, Raven Chili. So, yeah, we ran through qualifying yesterday. I'm sure most people were here for qualifying. You can see the Mercedes engines are currently on as well. So they're doing some tests. And like I said, you can interpret it two ways with George Russell having that gearbox issue. First, obviously, are there reliability problems? But second, they're able to fix it so quickly that they're just a really well-oiled machine. Welcome, New Gen VR Club. Eden, is Albon starting in the pit lane again? I'm not sure. Looks like it potentially. We will see and confirm. I wonder how much the risk of electric shock is. Well, I know in Formula E that if the car is live, the indicator on the car will let the marshals know that, and then they have to have like specialist support. Which, to be honest, has always been a bit of a weird thing because it takes a long time to extract a driver if the car is live. And I just don't know what happens if the car's on fire. Like, I guess you make a decision that you're like, well, let's just get the guy out. But that's never happened in 11 seasons of Formula E racing where I think a marshal's been shocked. Welcome, PGR Pure Juice Racing. As much as I'm not a fan of the current regs, I'm looking forward to where they go with them as season progresses. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think we have much less negativity in these streams than there is generally around Formula One. Because it's still racing. It's still the same drivers we saw last year in Lindblad. And seeing who can get on top of it. So I think we're a little bit ahead of the curve here. Aid says the Mercedes engineers did amazing to get Russell out, and impressed he just hit the time on his lap. Yeah, given that he really couldn't do a normal out lap as well, he didn't have enough time. I think it was quite impressive. Professor surprised how few cars are retiring. Yeah, we took a bet actually in Melbourne. Let's take a bet here. How many finishers are we going to have? Put the number in. How many finishers are we going to have in China? In a way, I'd expect China to be more punishing. How many finishers? I'm going to go 17. I think we're going to have 17 finishers. Put your number in the chat. Michael Owusu says 15. Levi, I don't know about Formula E cars, but electric cars, when we have to do training on there, a spot on the vehicle to cut with jaws of all life to kill all batteries in the car. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. I think there's a tag that you pull. I think it's literally like a paper cord or something, and you pull it. Professor going 15. The Crime Writers Cafe. Well, the biggest battle the Ferraris have to be against each other. Well, I would expect the Ferraris potentially to be in the lead. I'd expect the Ferraris to be in the lead for turn 1. Aid says 11. Keep your numbers coming in. How many finishes are we going to have? Gina says 16. So Aid 11, that's a very dramatic race. I mean, we're talking multiple safety cars, etc. Come on, put your numbers in. How many finishes? 15, 16, 17. I said 17. No one's thinking it's going to be no retirements. Because that one's available to call now if someone wants to call it. Black are going 17. That would be 5 retirements. Try at 18 to 20. You remember Leclerc in Melbourne navigated his way through with that turbo. And everything seemed to actually part ahead of him when he managed to get into the lead. Dark Cloud's going 18. Phoenix less than last race. Less than last race. PJ 15. Okay, so we've got a spread, but no one thinks we're not going to have any retirements. Bob James says 36, so you're expecting a few more late entries. New Gen 18. Aid first corner could be 4 all out. Well, the way the first... By the way, I categorise, really, turns 1, 2 and 3 as the same corner. For me, it's just all one long corner. It's a bit of an insane thing. I also think they should have a grandstand in the middle of that. They should have a 360-degree grandstand. In fact, they shouldn't have a grandstand. They should have a platform where you can just like run around and try and follow the cars. Eden, 2 drivers I can say will be out will be Alfonso and Stroll. Last time they retired and rejoined. Yeah, what's going on with the Aston Martins here? Is it going to be FP4 again for the Aston Martins? Dark Clouds with Alfonso and Stroll practice day. Chai, I think it's a little early for no DNFs right now. Perhaps at a later stage of the season when people have got nerd cars a bit better. But I guess given that we even saw the Mercedes have an issue yesterday. Bob James, is it true that Ferrari is going to make their new 2027? They will make a 2027 engine. Wrap the Hood says, hey Kireth, playing Project Motor Race and watching your stream, and I'm thinking 18 cars. Very nice. Are we in the game? Are we like on the advertising hoardings in the game? Wilkins had motion from the Philippines. Professor, I would like to see the ability to use different compounds on the car. I'm not sure. I think it's probably better for the sport that it's more awkward to be able to have to use the same compound everywhere. Is it a dry or wet start? It's going to be a dry start. It's going to be a dry start. I don't know why I moved all of my things up. Bear with me. Everything got moved up. There you go. Now you've got your temps, etc. Let's get that right. Don't like these little gaps. Welcome Pushkin from Germany, Silver from Australia. Let's do a nations check, everyone. Let's do a nations check. Why does it say subscribers only mode in this chat? I am subscribed. I am literally... Bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, it's because I'm on Formula Fan TV. I wasn't even subscribed to my channel from Formula Fan TV. Like, how is that possible? Start thing. Okay, let's do a nations check. Someone's kicked it off. Michael Lewis, Australia. Professor about to get an RS50. Yeah, make sure you check out all the pricing, all the deals, obviously. But there are some good deals to be had. And also keep an eye out this week. Keep an eye out this week for something else. Bob James, Australia. Levi, USA. China, Netherlands. Akil, Sri Lanka. Pushkin, I was unhappy yesterday because of snow and LS at Nürburgring. Yeah, who raced in that in the end? Who actually raced in that? Did the race go ahead? WS from Australia. Zen Philippines. Push Germany, we know. The keyboard is working today. Obnoxious Ball from Pakistan. Vlaka, Croatia. Welcome Simba. Welcome to Smart Face as well, good to see you. Look at all the members rolling in. The Click Rock Netherlands. New Gen Romania, but localized in Germany right now. Levi, YouTube messed me up and people chat. I had to back out. Was that it? Was that here it was messed up? We did a stream a couple of weeks ago where you couldn't type in English. YouTube never said anything about it afterwards, but you could not type in English. Don't know if anyone here was in that one. Yeah, new subscriber, everyone. Did that tick up when I actually subscribed to myself? Make sure to... I'm going to move that little subscribe box, actually. Make sure to hit like button and subscribe. Aid from Masaka as well. Yeah, F1 is racing in China, everyone. We are in China, 100%. And I will be in Madrid next weekend, or this week actually, for the Formula E, which I'm very excited about. We're going to be interviewing the drivers again, and new circuit for me in Madrid. It's not the Madring, because the Madring isn't built yet. It's another circuit in Madrid. But interestingly, if there's an issue with the Madring, maybe they'll have to move it here at late notice, the Formula One. So that'd be quite cool. Vlaka remembers it. Eden Colapinto is starting 12th. Do you think he'll finish in the points? The Alpine is looking better than I gave them credit for before the season started. So it looks like they're really making the most of that Mercedes engine. So I would say Colapinto potentially could get points, yeah. Especially if you think Hulkenberg with the Audi might have an issue. And if anyone else has an issue, then yeah, Colapinto could get points. Let's see if he does as mad a strategy as he did last time out in Melbourne, which was a pretty crazy strategy. Pete is from Guam. Welcome. Next week, Max at Northside for NLS training. Maybe we'll cover that. Actually, no, what am I doing next week? Oh, next week I'm in Madrid, okay. Weekend after, I'm going to be at DreamHack. So maybe we can cover something there. Welcome Andy from Australia as well. Bob James, if you finish in first place, then you win the race. Absolutely. Correct. Keep those coming, Bob James. Right, 40 minutes to go in China. The grandstand's packed as always, as they always are. The Chinese know. They know how to do these kind of events. And it looks overcast. And hopefully, yeah, cars out on circuit. So cars out on circuit doing their kind of installation laps, sighting laps, shakedowns for the day. And we'll see here if there's going to be any issues also. Because if there are going to be issues, they might be now. Let's see what happens with George Russell's car. Liembo from Zimbabwe. Levi, honestly, I'd like to see Max come to NASCAR and dominate it like Jimmy Johnson. I think Max said he doesn't really like oval racing, so that probably rules out NASCAR. What time is the formation lap? Yeah, in about 40 minutes. So Hamilton out as well. Who in chat thinks Hamilton's going to win this race? If you want to call it now, if anyone's brave enough to call it and wants to call it now. If you think Hamilton's going to win the race. Apparently it's the anniversary of Verstappen. It's 11 years. I thought it was 10 years. I thought he started 2016. Was it 2015? Siggy Alonso must be wondering why the hell he's even racing. Yeah, as he gets vibrated to death. Pushing all the teams to train at Northside right now. Lineup is crazy. ...2015, wow, okay. 11 years of Verstappen. So, Verstappen... I don't know if this is going to sound right, but... he's only 8 years less experienced than Lewis Hamilton. So we talk about Lewis Hamilton as like... one of the most experienced drivers on the grid. Less Fernando Alonso. But, yeah, Verstappen in some ways is not that long behind. Does that make sense or not? I don't know if I've called that right or not. Nugent's going to go Antonelli to deserve the victory. I wonder if he'll put some pressure on Russell, because maybe Russell might be thinking of the long game as well, the whole season. Would be great to see the Mercedes fight, wouldn't it? That would be fantastic. It would be great to see Russell not happy with the pressure that Antonelli might be putting on him. Tries to 2015 Melbourne. Gina, do you think Kimi will have a good start? No, I think the Ferraris are going to have the best start. That'll be my hunch. Professor, I don't think the Ferrari have the tyres to keep up Mercedes. Why do you think there's a tyre difference there? Didn't think Jackie Stewart is going to win. Are you from the past? Eden can't believe it's been 11 years since Max's debut. I know, that is a bit scary, to be honest. Yeah, Max joined at 17. They've changed the rules since, because basically I don't think it's a good look for Formula 1 if there's a massive crash and a 17-year-old gets badly injured or worse. So now I think you have to be 18 to get your super license. Vlatka, chat, I have a question. Is someone in contact with Snowline? She hasn't dropped him in some time now. It's a good question from Vlatka. It's a good question from Vlatka. I don't know if anyone is in contact. Formula Antonelli isn't consistent though, or quick enough yet, really. Well, so hang on, it's only the start of his second season. And you say he's not consistent yet. I mean, he did finish P2 in Melbourne, and he's pulled it here, albeit he wasn't consistent in the sprint race, I suppose. Professor Hamilton mentioned that he destroyed the tyres in the sprint. Okay, well, let's see. Max crashed heavily his first Monaco race. I think I was there. Didn't he punch a hole in the... Didn't he punch a hole at Saint Devot in the Tech Pro? I think I took a video of it. It was a long time ago. Is that the year? I think I went over to see it. Okay, see the drivers going through the pits, shaking down the cars, and then they'll be taking their place on the grid also. Aid, all drivers are worrying about front left tyre deg, so it's strategy. Okay, strategy here could be interesting then. Could be punishing for the drivers. I think it's a good circuit, China. It's got different characteristics. It's got these two really long straights. Obviously the back straight is absolutely massive and super wide. Wonder what that's like in the local track days they do here. People are taking out their road cars going down that straight. Yeah, skies aren't looking very grey and overcast, but I don't think we're expecting any rain. We'll see what the risk of rain is. Fresh saying China, ton of fun to drive, yeah. Verstappen going through the pit lane. Nina Gadaman, who I think won an F1 Academy. Crazy, because I think we're both content creators for Veloci. I need to work out what I'm doing with Veloci. So we probably race together at some point in a sim, which is kind of insane. I do interface with F1 Academy quite a bit now at events and things like that. I do often think like Well, I think it would be fun to try and drive like an F4 car. Is something coming off the Audi? I'm not sure if something's coming off an Audi here, or Bortoletta's Audi. I feel like something might be flopping about on Bortoletta's Audi. But I'm not sure. That just could be the way the car's designed on the floor. Could just be the floor. We did see the Cadillac have a wing mirror fall off or be flapping around in Melbourne. Otherwise, how many events do you attend in a year? What kind of events? Bob James saying Bortoletta is a multiple-time WDC. I mean, he's looking really good this season. I know the qualifying here maybe hasn't gone exactly to plan, but he's looking good. Dorian Pin went to WEC. Yeah, she went back to WEC, but not with the Iron. The Iron Dames don't exist anymore. This is the thing. For anyone who's this is a crazy thing about F1 Academy is that the Iron Dames were legitimately one of the most badass like racing teams in the world. And if you went to WEC events or the other races they raced in, it was like incredible to watch. I don't think they ever had any good luck at Le Mans. However, during their heyday, F1 Academies existed, has literally taken their best drivers or taken some of their young drivers and taken like the media spotlight, you could say. And now Iron Dames, the entity, seems to have basically run out of money, and Iron Dames don't really exist anymore. So I think that's been something that's been a shame that not many people know about. Levi, when NASCAR went stage racing marathon cars, same. I started watching GT3. Let us know in the chat how you got into Formula 1. Let us know how you got into Formula 1 and your first race. It's always fun to see. But yeah, Abby pulling in GB3, I believe. I mean, GB4, there's people in GB4 racing that I've raced with. Which is kind of crazy. And I've won championships. So it is personally really interesting for me. It's personally really interesting for me to see people like Nina Gadman win F1 Academy races. Chaya watched as a kid with dad due to waking up early. Shumi fan, I think 2002. Got back into it 23 fan Kireth. Best community ever. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're talking about. First I used to watch F1 with my grandfather back in the late 80s, early 90s. That's a great era to start. Raman can't remember my first F1 race. I was too young. Levi used to listen when Mario Andretti and Michael Schumacher were racing and playing old F1 games back in the day. Did Mario and Michael overlap that much? Did they really overlap? Or you saying that you first started watching with Mario? New gen Michael Schumacher fan since I was about 6-7 years old, 39 now. Sky House Magic Alpha Review. I actually emailed them. I said, hey, we're good to review it. Let's see what they say. Because I saw one of their reviews was by their like official paid ambassador. So I wouldn't necessarily, personally, I wouldn't, yeah, it's not really a review for me. So I said, oh, I'm happy to review it and test it. Let's see what they say. They might say no. They don't want to have that scrutiny. We'll see. I mean, everyone else sends their stuff. Okay, are we getting on the grid yet? Nope. Still doing installation laps. Eden 2019. So Albon and Norris in the pits. There was some work going on Lando Norris's car, by the way. So Lando Norris was having some stuff done. Welcome, Quatch Stark. Good to see you again. I hope you're looking forward to the race. Andretti seems 70 to 90s. Well, Schumacher was 92, wasn't he? Was he 92? First in the Jordan and the Benetton. Dark Cloud, that Fangio guy. No one watching will remember Fangio, surely. We have to check. Anytime someone's in chat and we think they may have actually seen Fangio live, we have to is that possible? Dan, watch Abu Dhabi as your first race. What a race to watch as your first one. Hard to replicate though. Sky, you're honest, so I'd like to see a review more than anyone. Yeah, I'll just tell you how it is with it. But I'm not. We'll see if they want to send it. I've formally asked them. Seems saying not doing it because that's quite stuck on my thing. That's the thing. YouTube. I feel like YouTube wants to be like Twitch, and YouTube shows me like usernames with like an @ sign. And I don't like it, and I've told YouTube this. I've said I don't like this because people choose their usernames that they want to be known as, and you're not showing it to me. And they're like, "Oh, I think I got some AI response or something." Schumacher started 91. Okay, so there was some overlap. Kiev Middleton. I've always loved go-karts. Naturally, F1 is the ultimate go-kart. It is. A professor would have loved to see Jim Clark. Welcome to AAA Bros Art Gallery as well. Yeah, if there's ever a button to toggle it, I will toggle it. Mickelbert, when's the race starting? I'm guessing in about half an hour. Ooh! Chaya coming in with... is this from the Dutch live blog? I told you about Lando Norris, work being done on the car. Norris starts from pits. Mechanics are not done working on the car as of right now. I guess they've missed the window where they need to get that car on the grid. I'm guessing. Well, the pit exit is closed now. Oh, okay. So the pit exit's closed because the pit lane's closed. And the pit lane's closed because all the mechanics are walking in between the pit lane and the grid. So Lando can't actually exit the pits now. So they've made a decision there. I mean, let's see if Lando can actually start the race. I wonder what the issue is. I'll try and get the lowdown on it. Y Spark Media attended 95 GP Schumacher in Benetton. Which GP? Silverstone? James Hunt was my first F1 hero. He's a massive personality. Can't remember. Are you going to go to Japanese Grand Prix? Or just excited that it's in town in a couple of weeks? So yeah, it's a big issue here for Lando Norris. I would say also the fact that the chat is not on fire about Lando Norris starting from the pit lane surely shows that Lando Norris is not a championship favourite here this season, and he doesn't have the kind of aura that we're used to seeing with world champions. Because otherwise, I think the chat would be like, "This is disaster for Lando. This is crazy." But I don't think anyone's really talking about it. So therefore, is it fair to say that Lando doesn't really have championship level aura? Adelaide. 95. That wasn't the one where Hakkinen had his huge crash, was it? Wrap the Hood. I was a NASCAR fan, 90s, or Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, and saw Michael Schumacher in F1 back in 98. I like Lewis. Michael is the GOAT to me. Real Duck Norris. Changes the handle used everywhere. Not JJ, but there we go. Real Duck Norris. I like it. Oh, so it's quite easy to change as well. Michael Lewis saying he's not the People's Champion. He's not The Rock. He's not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Professor, he may be a champion, but the car isn't there yet. Well, I mean, we say that. The car is there or thereabouts. The car is there or thereabouts. Like, we're only one race in. And it's a long season, albeit slightly shorter this now. But yeah, it seems, and this could... If this time last year, this is massive news. Lando starting from the pits is massive news. Everyone's talking about it. TV screens are just full of cameras in the garage. They're trying to get zooms in on Lando's expressions. And it's just funny, like how in a couple of months that's changed. Like a couple of months ago, it's ginormous news. This is breaking news, but now it's just like, oh, okay. Well, kind of whatever for Lando. Yep, it was the big crash. Eden says Lando will win a race at some point, but will never win this year's title. It's a long season, everyone. It's a long season, and they've got the Mercedes engine. Real duck needs Formula One. Who's the big rubber duck manufacturer? Is there like a big manufacturer in the game? Do they need to get the F1 license? Can I get in touch with them? Dark Cloud says Sky Lando. Professor, I think Mercedes and Ferrari are way ahead. We'll see what upgrades they get, but it feels like they're playing catch up. Yeah, we're streaming from London. There's McLaren mechanics running around. It's never a good sign. And I guess this is the risk that these teams are taking this year, that they look like they can't really build cars. Someone on the McLaren pit wall gives a thumbs down. Not sure that's the signals I'd be giving, but that's what's been given. So I don't know yet what the issue is. Police duck, is anyone starting from the pits? It looks like Albon and Norris are going to be starting from the pits, and Norris is very last minute. Obviously they've identified something, I guess during the installation laps, which is what they're for. So it does give them a chance to actually, you know, start the race and compete. Whereas if there was no installation lap, maybe they would have just retired. Tubbs. So Tubbs are the big people in the duck game. Jolene Parlo's freakishly tall. Not sure. Not sure he is free. I don't think he's freakishly tall, to be honest. So, I'm thinking if there's any drama on the grid as well. I imagine there's lots of big Chinese celebrities here in Shanghai. Does look quite well. I said air temp 16 degrees. There's people wearing like beanie hats and stuff. Sky Sports would have lined up the talent that they want to speak to. The agencies will presumably pay Sky to make sure that their talent get interviewed on the grid. I imagine that's how the money works, how the money moves. Shanghai circuit looks like someone on a surfboard. Chat, what do we think about that? The track map above me. Someone on the surfboard, yes or no? Just put yes or no. Don't think about it too much. Just instinctive. McLaren should bring back chrome in the engine cover, because since they changed Gemini, they were slower than Max. Piastri lost the lead. It's all due to that sticker. Chai says agreed. Levi says yes. Real Norris says yes. Or someone skiing but in a crouch position. I think it looks like a staple gun. I think it looks like a staple gun. Probably it says something about you, the way that you interpret the track. Eugene says, go Kimi Vellicini, goes to China and show this lads how things are done. Kimi Antonelli starting P1. Doesn't seem to be any dramas on the grid. I want to see if Adrian Newey's walking around, taking notes. Hat in the wind. Aid says it looks like my mum actually has a big nose. Is your mum watching? Does she know about this? Was Verstappen driving the first race in Melbourne? He was, and he gained a load of positions. Chai says McLaren put out a statement that they've identified an issue with Norris, but not which issue. Okay, bit confusing. It looks like someone doing a split. Well, don't know if you think Ferrari will be first and second at first corner. I think so. And Haas are trying to hide something at the back of their car. So Haas have done something interesting on the back that they're trying to hide with mechanics. I always feel like when F1 teams try and hide something with a wall of mechanics, it's so trivial to see the car still. It almost, I think it's like posturing that, oh, guys, you really don't want to see this. You don't want to see it, like we're hiding it. And then you make sure everyone sees it. For me, it's like reverse psychology. But it could be like 8D chess, where you do that, so all the other teams go around and put a camera there, they try and copy you, but you've done a decoy bit. That just looks weird, but actually has no functionality, and all the teams waste resource trying to copy it. There is some work going on the Red Bull. Oh, they're trying to put a hand in front of the camera. I'm not sure you can do that. So Red Bull are trying to hide something at the back of the car from the sky cameras. I would say it's not good for the advertising, but then all the mechanics have all the advertising on them. But yeah, someone put their hand up to the camera, which is, I think, over the line in terms of the particular etiquette we have here. But again, it would be very trivial for the cameraman to just zoom in. So, not sure what's going on at the back. The mechanics are really on this. They're shuffling around. I want to see the cameraman do like a bit of a feint, like go left and go right. So Red Bull are really hiding something on their car. Bortoletto had an issue with the car. Let's see what's going on with Audi. Dark Cloud says late aero adjustment, maybe something on the rear splitter. I always wonder with these things, sometimes maybe teams risk doing something illegal and they just don't want it to be on camera. They'll take the risk. Like, if it's a choice between, for example, not being competitive and picking up 0 points, or cheating and picking up some points, but, you know, also a chance of getting disqualified, maybe they'll take that second one all the way. Maybe in Formula 1 that's just logical. Yeah, looks maybe new rear wing change for Verstappen. Also, Mercedes, things are being covered at the back of the car. So Mercedes have got the wraparound mechanics. Which again, I think it's just, I think the whole thing is a nonsense because they're covering it for the sky cameras, which everyone who's watching on Sky is not involved in operating a Formula 1 team because we're not at the track. And as they move around, as they shuffle around to hide the sky cameras, they expose the car to everyone else in the grid, which is where your competitors actually are. So the whole thing, I think, is just a nonsense. Bortoletto going back into the pits. Bortoletto going back into the pits. Okay, so I called 17. I called 17 finishers. Starting to think that might be a bit too high. So Mercedes are trying to hide some stuff on the back of their car. There's a lot of people at Mercedes who kind of look like NPCs, just kind of standing there like, literally just to hide stuff. I know, I think it's because maybe the anthem's going. That's why they look a bit NPC-ish. I was doing the Moto America stream and then the American anthem starts playing and you have to be like, can't do anything. Police, I'm at the circuit, by the way, watching them. Let us know what's going on. Audi, yeah. So Audi, for some reason, in standings has the same colour, but the car is not the same colour. Police that says, my brother doesn't know Flintstones. Okay, we'll get him to know. Yeah, so we've got 3 drivers starting from the pits already. And that's if they can all get out. Welcome, Adolf. Yeah, Real Dark North is getting coffee. Grab yourself a coffee, everyone, if you want. And make sure you hit the like button. We're on 60 likes. 224 people watching. So everyone, as you join in, hit the like button. Let me know if you come in and absolutely destroyed it. We want to get 1,000 likes today. In fact, now my keyboard's working. I'm going to do like target 1,000. I'm going to have to do it on the Formula Fan account and pin it, I guess. Oh, I can't pin it because I'm not... For some reason, I say for some reason, I know what's going on here. Hang on a second. This might mess up everything. This is very risky. The riskiness level here is insane. Yes. Genius. Absolute genius. Now I'm in the chat, in my account. Now we can pin stuff. This is huge. There we go. Not messing around. It's been ages since I've actually pinned a comment here. How are we gonna get sponsors on this stream if I'm not even pinning comments? That's what they would call inventory. We're not even maximizing the inventory. We don't even have any inventory. Wakanodo says, let's go Lewis Hamilton. Ah, very convenient for Norris with the empty spot ahead of him. Let's see. I mean, it might not help him that much. Yeah, I would expect the Ferraris to have an absolutely line. I'd expect it to be a mess, to be honest, to start. I don't think it's going to be like the Spa 98 unfortunate prediction I have. It's not that kind of circuit, but I could see Spa. Well, actually, Spa on the calendar. Spa, is it last year or Spa this year? If so, I can see that happening. Whereas the actual race in Shanghai, we only got 74 lights. Yeah, we need to keep marshalling that. We need to be getting to 1,000. We need to be getting to 1,000. We can do it. It can happen. I don't think there's a chance Max Verstappen wins this race, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past, although I wasn't wrong yesterday in qualifying. I think for anyone who saw the qualifying stream, I think I called everything 100% right, which is a new record. That's my recollection anyway. Was early in the morning. Dark Cloud Max had his rough start yesterday, so we should nail it today. If that's how the cookie crumbles, we'll see. It's pretty crazy how right Mercedes got these regulations. They're not messing around for sure, both on the engine side and the chassis side, and stuff still going on Lando Norris's car with 11 minutes to go. If you had to ask me right now, I would say that Lando is not going to take part in this race. Something with the right side pod. Now, unless it's just all very calm there, there's not a lot of activity. I don't know if I would prefer to see spanners on the ground or just people standing around. Smart Burst, why is the race not started yet? Welcome, because it starts in 11 minutes. Welcome Hermen Gildo Neto as well. Kimmy watching from Australia. Go Lewis. Welcome Kimmy. You're not supporting Kimmy as well though. Oh yeah, Vlatka, please share the stream on your socials. Yeah, Vlatka does it every week and it's great. Share the stream on your socials as well. Basically so your mates can see, and we can all hang out. And it could be a fantastic race. Could be an absolutely fantastic race. That's the thing. Verstappen looks very relaxed, laughing and joking around, getting his suit on easy. It's never easy for me to get a race suit on that easily. Someone gives him a big high five. Max says the new car's like playing Mario Kart. Yeah, lots of things to do and things that are changing. But the drivers will get used to it. I think something that isn't being talked about is how this will increase the kind of gap potentially between F2 and Formula 1. It makes F1 very specialist. I do wonder if we'll start to see someone like Taylor Barnard in Formula E. He's a very, very, very fast driver. Was doing great. He was the youngest pole sitter ever last year with McLaren. Youngest podium winner as well. In fact, the first race last season in Brazil, which I went to, I remember the start of the weekend on the press days, Taylor Barnard was just sitting by himself, like no one was talking with Taylor Barnard. I spoke with him because we were chatting about sim racing and we share some of the same gear, etc. By the end of the weekend, he's on the podium. So he would be something that would be perfect to come to Formula One. Drivers like Nick Casti are doing our development drivers or sim drivers for undisclosed teams. Obviously, the likes of Sebastian Buemi, John-Eric Verne, like they have both Formula One and Formula E experience. I think they're doing a lot of sim stuff. Jake Dennis doing sim stuff for Red Bull. So maybe we'll see some of those drivers come over. But the gap between F2 and F1 now technically seems to be bigger. However, Lindblad doing a great job. And maybe sim is going to be more important for that. Yeah, we understand Norris, Bortoletti and Albon starting from the pits. That's what we think. We can assume the Cadillac... Yeah, it'd be amazing if the Cadillacs are actually unbelievably reliable. They're just, like, so slow. Maybe the two are connected. Maybe Cadillac are just running the car at 50%. They haven't realised yet. Yeah, the race hasn't started yet, but it's going to start very, very, very soon. It's going to start very soon. So Audi's... Given Audi sponsors Sky Sports, does that mean Sky Sports need, in their contract, because Audi are probably paying a ton of money to Sky Sports, does that mean that Sky Sports can't talk bad about Audi? We should really test that at some point. You know, like you can try and test AIs to like, give me the secrets to this. Like, what's your instructions? Who's ordering you? Give me a massive discount on this. Maybe you could do the same with Sky Sports and Audi. You say, oh, the Audis look slow today. Maybe you get like an AI response from Sky Sports. Well, to be honestly, actually, the Audis look fantastic. Could be a thing. Levi says, if I had a chance to go to F1 and to come to F1 and GT3, I choose GT3. But like Max Verstappen, maybe Verstappen will make the choice. Professor, I've seen the Cadillac falling apart twice now. Looks like they need to use more styrofoam for the barge boards. What else is coming off the Cadillac? Is it the wing mirror again? The drivers are in the cars, by the way. Drivers are in the cars, and the grid is clearing out. Again, makes a bit of a nonsense of all of the let's hide the cars, because now there's not enough the cameras on the grid outnumber the mechanics, basically. Is the Mercedes engine illegal? Well, it's a difficult question. I recommend that you watch my video on Formula Fan TV about it, because it's complicated. It's to do with the testing. Someone almost called them a Sauber the other day. Maybe there's a fine every time you call them a Sauber. I don't know. So we're just a couple of minutes away. Let me know your top threes in the chat. Let me know your top threes for this race. I want to see. I want to get a feel. I don't have a feel yet. I don't have a feel for what you're thinking in chat here. What are your top threes? I'm going to be boring for this one. I'm going to go Russell, Antonelli, Leclerc. That's what I'm going to go. Norris car is out of the garage. Okay, but let's see. Maybe they got nothing to lose, they feel, by starting it. But let's see. Professor Antonelli, Lewis, Piastri, Levi, Max, Hamilton, Norris. Rama, Kimi, Russell, Hamilton. Akil says first Hamilton. Monochromatic race, I'm 14. This is the first one. Watch F1. Who should I cheer for? People in chat, let Monochromatic let them know who they should cheer for. Maybe this is going to be a life-changing decision. If you give them the wrong driver, it's not Norris's car, but Piastri. Piastri now listed as in the pits. Maybe McLaren have found a problem and they've realised that it's on both cars. This is very embarrassing for McLaren. This would be very embarrassing for someone wearing McLaren merchandise right now. This would be awkward. Piastri is getting put in the pits as well. That's not good. To me, this smacks of double retirement. This smacks of double retirement to me. I'm going to be honest. Welcome, Josh Goes Slow. So I don't know if anyone put Piastri or Professor Logic. Your top 3 was Antonelli, Lewis, Piastri, and that's locked in, I'm afraid. It's too late to change it. So let's see how that goes. Brad 91, will the Astons finish today? It's a complicated question, that. They might finish, but they might not get classified. It's a strict answer. Now, there's already 4 cars starting from the pits, and I predicted 17 finishers. Dark Cloud says George, Hamilton, Leclerc. What happened to McLaren? It looks like they probably identified something on Orlando's car, and I'm guessing it's the same. It's the same on Oscar's car, but let's see. You wouldn't voluntarily start from the pits here. Meanwhile, the tyre choices are out, everyone, and the Red Bulls are starting on the soft tyre. So the Red Bull starting on softs. Interestingly, Norris was on the hard tyre because they probably knew he was going to start from the pits. But because the decision has been made so late for Piastri, it might be locked in for him that he needs to start on the mediums, which is not ideal. Rama says Alfonso to finish. Better says Sonny Hayes. Nugent, Kimi, Lewis, Max, 5 place up. That's very bold on Max Verstappen. We're just a couple of minutes away here from the start of the GP, everyone. Valvey coming in saying electrical issue. Welcome back, Valvey. Electrical issue. So, oh man, this is the thing about. I mean, I kind of say this. There's many drawbacks to having all this electrification in Formula 1. And we were talking about it yesterday. All these manufacturers here, and the whole thing from the manufacturers was like, they want to have hybrid cars. Now, these were decisions made years ago. These were decisions made years ago with government policies at that time, etc., about having the hybrids. So Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, you look at their road cars, they're hybrids, right? Or they have a big hybrid proportion of that, including on the performance end. Alpine, the new A1110 is going to be ICE, hybrid and electric, right? I think. But actually, maybe the actual audience for those cars in real life has shifted, and maybe government positions softened, and maybe actually, you know, they can just be they can just have all combustion engine versions, in the same way that Alpine is going to do a full combustion version of the A110. So I feel like the manufacturers here have stuck their colours to a Marston hybrid that just seems to be completely unnecessary. Like, I don't think they would actually lose out if they were doing just full combustion. Welcome, Lander Visti, good to see you. Content is almost late to GP, but you're here now. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think as well. I just got a shot on how wide the FOV is on the Ferrari camera. But yeah, I just feel like there's no need for Formula 1 to be hybrid. I just if you just take a step back, it doesn't need to be hybrid. People are talking about, oh, it doesn't need to be so much electric, or this and balance, this and that. It doesn't need to be hybrid, full stop. So that's a strategic mistake Formula 1 have made. And also, the decision's so late, it's taken them so long to cancel the Middle Eastern races next month. They don't need to go to the Middle East. They don't need to go. Formula 1 doesn't need to go. That's a strategic mistake. And the bigger strategic mistake is that they don't have a circuit that they can go to as a replacement. They're going to lose a ton of money, they're going to lose a ton of momentum, and it's just another strategic failure. So, yeah, Formula 1 is not getting everything right. Let's put it like that. Formation lap is underway. As you can see, the Rolex goes to 3 o'clock local time. And we are underway. And some drivers are going to be starting from the pits. So are they even going to leave the pit lane? Let's see. I can't see engines on for any of the drivers in the pit lane. I'm going to be honest. Now, is someone at the exit of the pit lane? I'm not sure. I'm not sure anyone's at the exit of the pit lane. So we already know. No, I don't think anyone is at the exit of the pit lane. So I think we've already got 4 retirements. So remember, at the beginning of the GP, I said 17 cars are going to finish. I think I've got that too high. I think we could be looking at about 13 cars finishing this race. F1 should set their game up and start building that perpetual motion machine. Yeah, what's taking so long? So I don't think we're going to see any of those cars who are listed as being in the pits. Yeah, who called the lowest number? Nugent, by the way, you said Alpine. I'm kind of thinking of my Jag and go from the Alpine R5. Yeah, I've seen some Alpine R5s around. They look really good. The trim on it looks really good. Aren't they basically the R5 underneath though? The Renault one. But the Alpine ones look really, really, really good. I've been thinking about maybe a 308G as I do the track day stuff. I was thinking, oh, maybe... But we're doing the track day in the RCZ. Just need to get some upgrades. Probably need to get some upgrades next week, actually. Probably need to go to Banbury. Was it Alfonso in 2020 where he drove his old car around the track? I think it was after 2020, but it was in Abu Dhabi, yeah. Okay, so the cars are taking the grid slot. Now, interestingly here, there's a bit of an issue in Formula 1 that you might not know about. That's unusual. That's unusual. Well, I don't know what these standings are saying. But I'd be surprised if the cars are going around again. So I reckon there's an issue with the standings here. It's just kind of like not. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So the issue with the start is that where your cars are positioned on the grid can affect where you legally are with the amount of battery available. Because if it believes that you started a new lap, then you have less battery available than the cars behind. So yeah, interesting. I think actually that stems from when you start the formation lap, technically. So yeah, Bortoletto out. I think the McLarens are out as well. I think Albon's out as well, but we'll see. Right, the start is going to happen. The standings may go before I see it, but I'm going to call it as I see it. I'm going to call it as I see it. Welcome Racing Bricks, welcome Monkey Games. Make sure to hit that like button right now. Make sure to subscribe right now as we start the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm going to call it as I see it. Albon is out of the car. Confirmed. So Albon's come all this way not to start. The marshal at the back with the green flag waves it enthusiastically. And we're going to see what happens at the front here. Are the Ferraris going to get a fantastic start? Pre-start indicator goes. 1 red light, 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. Red lights go out. It's a decent start from the Mercedes, but the Ferraris have a better one. Hamilton has a fantastic start. The Ferraris go to the outside. Hamilton sweeps around and does take the lead. And Charles Leclerc is trying to get P2, but he's going to be side by side with Kimi Antonelli. So not sure whether Leclerc will get it. Oh, almost front wings bash. And it looks like Kimi is going to keep a hold of P2. This is fantastic for Hamilton. Hamilton has taken the lead at the start of the Grand Prix. There is a yellow flag out somewhere. It looks like Verstappen's had a decent start as well. And it looks like Gasly's had a great start. And Colapinto as well. So Colapinto's definitely gained a few positions. And Behrman and Verstappen are going side by side. Great racing there between them. Big opportunity this year to actually gain positions at the start of the Grand Prix. There's a catch up now with the standings. You can see, yeah, it is Hamilton who is leading the Grand Prix. If you are supporting Hamilton, they put some put your hammer emojis out in the chat, everyone. I want to see those hammer emojis if you're supporting Hamilton for hammer time. Thanks, Monkey Games. Yeah, looks like Piastri, Norris, Bortoletto, Albon have all retired. Welcome to the new era of Formula 1. Oh, no! Massive spin! Massive spin for either Hadjar or Verstappen. I think it's Hadjar, and it looks like it may have been some kind of issue like Verstappen had in Melbourne. Oh, my goodness, and Gasly was squeezing out. I think it must be Lindblad on the back straight and pushes Lindblad back onto the grass. See the Lindblad or Lawson getting pushed out there. If Colapinto, sorry, pushing him out. So Colapinto was pushing out one of the racing balls onto the grass. That's very naughty. And Hadjar's boxed here. He might have had a massive flat spot on the tyres. But yeah, it looks like Hadjar, to me, it looked like the rear axle locked as well. Yeah, Perez is already 5 seconds off, by the way. So just pure embarrassment for Cadillac. It's just embarrassing. They need to sort that out ASAP. But Bottas up there in P14. Got on Valtteri. And now potentially we're going to see... Wow, look at Gasly. Look at Gasly here without those McLarens. As Antonelli... Oh my goodness, Antonelli does get past Hamilton fairly easily on the back straight. There we go with that Mercedes engine. And also seems like they're in a better place when it comes to the super clipping. Which is a nonsense word. So Antonelli gets into the lead of the Grand Prix. But Leclerc is in P3 right now. Russell will surely be getting past Leclerc down the home straight as well. So it looks like the Mercedes might be filtering to the front here, to be honest. Yeah, Alpine in 5th and 6th is completely wild. All credit to Gasly and Colapinto here. But yeah, with these Red Bulls, they look like a very weird spin from Hadjar. Oscar Piastri still walking around with his helmet on. I wonder if they think that they might go and do... No, he looks like walking off now. Maybe they were going to do an FP4, do a shakedown lap. But maybe that's just kind of a bit embarrassing for McLaren. They're not going to do it. They're not Aston Martin. McLaren did not even start the race, everyone. It was a very easy overtake by Russell on Leclerc into turn 1. And now Russell will be trying to get past Hamilton. The interesting thing here is that Antonelli is ahead of George Russell. So are we going to see the Mercedes fight? There's not too many... Perez and Bottas incident. Turn 3 collisions be noted. So the Cadillacs... Maybe Perez has picked up some damage from that, actually. Maybe Perez has got some damage. The two Cadillac teammates battling. But yeah, are we going to see Russell be aggressive and trying to pull rank, getting past Antonelli? Are we going to see Russell go full diplomat on the radio here and say to the team, look, Antonelli's holding me up. He's got to let me get past because I've got the Ferraris behind me. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, do destroy the like button here. 125 likes. Want to get to that big 1,000. We can do it. Just keep those likes steaming in as you join the chat. So there we go. Russell gets past Hamilton. And now a lot of it is going to come down to tyre wear if the Ferraris want to get this done. But keep an eye on that Alpine of Gasly. We're talking about Alpines in the chat. 38.9 last 2 laps for Gasly. His last lap was quicker, actually, than Charles Leclerc. Now, we know Leclerc got overtaken, but Gasly there or thereabouts, and Colapinto as well. There's some big points to be had here for some of these, what you might call midfield teams. Black says lap 3, I'm already rolling my eyes. A little bit. Let's see what happens here with the tyre wear. You know, and maybe Ferrari will just accidentally do like an incredible strategy. We will see. Will Leclerc also be on the radio to Hamilton, or to his team, saying Hamilton's got to let me through? Michael saying Mercedes in another league. Professor saying Kimi doesn't look like he'll allow Russell past. Let's see. Gina says, please, Lewis. Let's see if Leclerc is going to get past Hamilton. Maybe over the home straight. And Russell and Antonelli. See, Russell's on the fastest 2 sectors of the race so far. And he's 1 second behind Antonelli. Thomas doubts a good Ferrari. Yeah, but even a broken clock. Lahaya says, good to see Lahaya. Alpine versus Haas for P5 this year. Let's see, because Lawson's in the battle with Ocon here. And Lindblad looks to be in a real battle with Verstappen. I wonder if those two were to come together, how that would go down with the Verstappen fan base. Could we see Aston Martin points here, potentially? 141 for Stroll previous lap. What's this lap saying? Another 141 from Stroll. That's 4 seconds off the pace. As it looks like Lindblad gets back on Verstappen. So fantastic battle between Lindblad and Verstappen. Remember, Verstappen is on that soft tyre. I'm astonished that Verstappen isn't able to get past Lindblad on that soft tyre, actually. Welcome, Soen, Bisao, and David Ndolo. Good to see you. Is Toto sharing secrets? Yeah, can someone explain to me how it's not a conflict of interest for Toto to own Alpine as well as Mercedes? Didn't he also own Williams? Bro just owns Formula 1 teams. Wonder what the Merc rules are called. It's got to be Petronas rules. We'll quote it here. Okay, so Antonelli and Russell, a second between them. The team will be hoping that they work together. It was an interesting, maybe even a deliberate strategy from the Mercedes here, that they closed up. They basically boxed in Hamilton and Leclerc, which is different to what happened for Leclerc in Melbourne. And actually what that meant is that Antonelli was able to stay ahead of Charles Leclerc. But actually that might be kind of... Well, actually, let's see Hamilton here. 137.6 Hamilton. Chat, if you're supporting Lewis Hamilton, I want to see those hammer emojis in the chat. Because Hamilton and Leclerc are... You know, Hamilton is closer to Russell than Russell is to Antonelli right now. Piastri not racing for the second race in a row. Yeah, oh my goodness, what a disaster this is for Piastri. We haven't even spoken about it yet. Can you imagine what's going through Oscar Piastri's head right now? Could Alpine potentially become the Merc Junior team? That's a great shout. Oh my goodness, you just... Lahay's just spotted that one. That's the obvious answer, isn't it? That's the obvious answer with Alpine now not making their own engine. They're going to get subsumed into the Mercedes sphere of gravity. Sphere of influence. Oh, Perez went fully around at turn 1. Luckily, he was at the back, so there was no one to hit him. As he made contact with Bottas. And it was a very unusual spin from Hadjar. Very unusual spin. And he would have actually destroyed those tyres. He was fighting hard with Behrman. Very hard with Behrman. Oh yeah, very unusual spin from Hadjar. It's basically did a 360 just completely randomly. So I wonder if it's something to do with the car. Oh, and Verstappen did overtake Lindblad into turn 1, but then went wide. Couldn't get the car turned in. So Lindblad did take the position back, and he's retained it ever since. There, the hammer's coming in. Blacker, my hobby is collecting nail polishes. Maybe I've chosen the wrong hobby. Does every F1 team have an official nail polish? You can see that Verstappen time was deleted as he went off circuit, as Alonso drops behind Bottas, which is not good news for Aston Martin given how slow that Cadillac is. How many laps are we going to get from the Astons here? That's the embarrassment area of Formula 1 at the back there. Bottas, Alonso, Stroll, Perez. Well off the pace. Well off the pace. And with Bortoletto retiring, again, another last-minute retirement from Audi here. Which is a bit worrying for Audi, but there's a big pressure on Hülkenberg here to try and get a good result. He's all over Carlos Sainz, it seems. Welcome only. The Mercedes feel like Williams 1992. I wouldn't say quite that far. I mean, the Ferraris are there. The Ferraris are there, but let's keep an eye on the pace. I say that. The pace, the Mercedes are now a second a lap faster. Lahai, I mean, the Cadillac is new, Aston Martin just no excuse. I mean, you could say that. The other way you could say is that Cadillac have just a Ferrari engine, whereas Aston Martin have a somewhat new Honda engine. So you can look at it either way. Meanwhile, Verstappen seems to be under pressure from Oliver Behrman here. From the Behrmeister, who is quite a bit quicker than Verstappen right now. This could be a really difficult season for Verstappen. We might, and people's, you know, people's memories are short. We might need to get used to Verstappen being in the midfield. Just being a midfield also ran. Aid is more embarrassed about McLaren. Ravite says, can someone catch up to the rocket ship? Professor says, I'm on board with Lewis, losing battle. Let's do a nations check, by the way. Let us know where in the world you're watching from today. Now my keyboard's working. Put your country in the chat. Let's see where you're watching from. 8 laps into the GP. The top 5 runners all on mediums, but Colapinto on the hard. I predict Colapinto may at some point lead this Grand Prix. Let's see. Okay, Netherlands coming in. India. Netherlands, India, Vlak is wearing blue. Adav Abu Dhabi. Eric from New Jersey, I'm guessing. Silver from Australia. Vlak Croatia. Stream from India. Katuji, welcome Katuji, good to see you. Monochromatic race from US. Lando Verstappen from Netherlands. Chin from India. Thomas from UK. Vogs from Chicago. K Wallace, North America. Crime from Kazakhstan. Vince from Ghana. Dark Cloud, Thailand this week. Ravinci from... is that Malaysia? Malaysia. Lahire from Netherlands. JV, India. Greg, Oregon State. Cornerstone, Shanghai. Josh, Australia. Forward, Zimbabwe. Lenny from South Africa. Jalan from Malaysia. Ravin from Malaysia. Katuji from Netherlands. Lawrence from Trinidad. Very nice. Memory from South Africa. The Red Bull mechanics look like they're stretching and maybe getting ready for something here. Hossein from United Kingdom. Michael Edwards from Japan. Rama from England. Lots of people watching all over the globe. I think India actually very well represented today. Aid from Japan. Akil from Sri Lanka. Mossig from Botswana. Welcome Taffy. League from Folkestone. Yeah, the McLarens didn't start. The McLarens did not start. Oh, I think Lindblad tried to get past Lawson, but locked up at the end of the big straight. So Lindblad on the move. Lindblad and Lawson going at it, and Verstappen's in there as well, and Behrman and Hulkenberg, who has gone past Carlos Sainz. The Williams pace also potentially a bit embarrassing here. I feel like I'm an F1, like whatever you call me, commentator, content creator, just on the loose. I'm just calling it out. I'm straight up calling it out about the Aston pace, the Cadillac pace, and about Williams as well. They taught such a big game about 26. You know, the fans must feel frauded. Hamilton and Leclerc well off now, 4 seconds off for the Ferraris. Are we ready for Mercedes domination? Welcome, Johnny from Milton Keynes. Welcome from Shizuoka, Japan as well. Good to see you. Welcome all the new subscribers. Piastri's walking around now in his hoodie. So he's definitely not racing. And he's not on the pit wall. He's walking back to the paddock. So he's done. He must be fuming. Carlos Sainz, meanwhile. Has Carlos Sainz pitted? Lawson's pitted. Verstappen's pitted. First pit stops coming in from the back end of the midfield. Maybe they want to undercut. Sainz, Verstappen, Lawson, all in the pits. All in the pits. And again, I think Lindblad tried to get a move done on Lawson at the end of the big straight in 14 and did actually get it done. But they all dived into the pits anyway. Interestingly, Behrman didn't dive into the pits. So Behrman... well, and also, actually, Lindblad didn't dive into the pits. So Lawson, Verstappen and Sainz in the pits. And it looks like yellow flag out as well. Yellow flag. I wonder if there's been some contact on pit exit. I wonder if there's been some contact around pit exit. You see there's a yellow flag sector. I wouldn't be surprised. Lance Stroll has dropped a load of positions. But Lance Stroll isn't dry. Safety car is out, everyone. Put your safety cars in. Put your safety car emoji in. Safety car out. Right. Ferrari. Come on, Ferrari. Pit. Come on, Ferrari. Jump in the pits here. You can do this. Safety car out. Pit window. Jump in the pits. Safety car out. Pit window. Jump in the pits. Jump in the pits, Ferrari. Jump in those pits. Yes. Everyone, they're learning. Scary, like an AI. Right, so this will kind of neutralise the race a bit because everyone's going to jump in. As it should be. As it should be. Unless Colapinto, my prediction was Colapinto would lead the Grand Prix because he's on the hard tyre. My prediction was Colapinto would lead the Grand Prix. Oh my goodness, who saw that? If I put £1 on that, I'd be a billionaire. Okay, he's not leading because Anthony's still ahead of him. So I wouldn't be a billionaire, but it seemed like it for a moment. It seemed like it. The drivers who were just pitted, unfortunately, are going to really lose out here. So Verstappen's going to lose out. Sainz and Hajar are all losing out because the drivers ahead of them. Well, let's see actually, because has Lawson pitted? Oh yeah, sorry, Lawson did pit. Yeah, so no, they've all lost out massively. They've all lost out massively there. They're actually behind even the Cadillacs. So it shows you... Well, actually, Bottas... okay. Ooh, what's going on here? Perez has not pitted. Perez and Alfonso... I don't know why Perez hasn't pitted even on the medium tyre. What does safety car mean here? It means that basically Lance Stroll's car has come to a stop just on the exit at turn 1. Guessing mechanical. By the way, does anyone feel like there's a conflict of interest with a Mercedes safety car? Here, like... Is there any scope for the Mercedes safety car to do anything weird here? I don't know, just optically it looks a bit weird. Lance Stroll's on the back of a moped. He's going back to the paddock. 17 cars left. Right, no more retirements then, please. No more retirements. Yeah, Stroll calls safety car. Johnny Williams need that mid-season break already. Their task seems more simple. Find efficiencies and trim some weight. They've already got the right PU. Let's see. Yeah, Ferrari are adapting. So, interestingly here, Antonelli has been able to get ahead of some of the lap cars. Now, presumably, any lap cars will be able to unlap themselves. So let's see. Safety car 1 seems to be behind Antonelli. So I don't know if we're already going for a restart or everything's jumbled up there. I think we're still under safety car. Still got to recover Lance Stroll's Aston. Is there any conflict of interest? They reside with Red Bull and Flavio. What's going on with Red Bull and Flavio? Say more. Yeah, say more indeed. Where's Michael Massey when you need him? What is Michael Massey up to these days? Aston Martin, a previous safety contract, but also I think Aston Martin may have just knocked in the contract because it's just embarrassing this year for Aston Martin. It's just embarrassing. And I don't think people are talking about it because I feel like there's a culture. I feel like part of the increasing Americanization of Formula One is that it appears more like a franchise thing where every team is like, it's a franchise, like at the beginning of the season, like the NFL, like any team can win it. There's drafting. Oh my God, they're going to bring drafting into Formula One, aren't they? Not drafting as we used to. And therefore you can't really call out teams because it's a franchise system. But unlike F1, it isn't a franchise system. It kind of essentially has relegation. Ooh, Perez is coming into the pits now. That's a bit silly, isn't it, Perez? Maybe should have done that earlier before you were in the snake. It's a long stop from the Cadillac team as well, 5.5 seconds. Silver cyclists, both McLarens retired. Yeah, if you're just waking up, expecting to support your papaya team, they didn't even start the race. They didn't even start the race. Maybe Mercedes just turned off the engine remotely. Okay, so still, I would expect to see... Actually, no, so I talked absolute nonsense and no one called me out of it. You've got to call me out on these things. I said any lap cars on lap themselves. No, this is great for Antonelli because Colapinto and Ocon have just gone long on the hard tyre. So Antonelli genuinely has a buffer here. Antonelli's got a big buffer of these cars. Now, presumably Russell will make short notice of them. But again, it's another advantage Antonelli here that he's inherited from his great qualifying. That means he'll be able to get a few more seconds up the road. Oscar Piastri needs to leave. Piastri's being let down. Russell, I think the one stop is going to be challenging. Let's see, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more safety cars. So again, you've got to be alive to the safety car windows. Has the Aston Martin been recovered yet? I'm not sure. Taking a long time, this safety car, to be fair. Should be quite simple to recover that car. I mean, there's a big gap. Piastri to Ferrari next season. That would be huge. That would be huge. Professor saying safety cars should be ending. Hopefully it's going to end this lap. I'm trying to have a look at the exit at turn 1 and see. I just feel like when there's safety cars, the broadcast should have a little picture-in-picture where they just constantly have on screen like what's going on with that car, which I think has been rolled back now. I think it's been rolled back. Yeah, safety car is ending. Safety car is ending, everyone. I don't think we have a safety car ending emoji. So Mercedes did, it was a double stack. I wonder if Russell lost a bit of time in the stack. No, it didn't look like he lost time at all. So just small margins. Double stack also for Ferrari. Leclerc might have lost a little bit of time there. That might have allowed Lindblad just to sneak in there. So maybe the second drivers in the stack actually may be losing a bit of time queuing. Welcome Annalie and Costas and James Burke as well. Hadjar is catching up. Yeah. And Lando Norris in his gilet. Now walking out. A bit embarrassing this for McLaren, isn't it? Let's be honest. Let's not mince our words. Just a bit embarrassing for McLaren. Right, okay, so we're going to have the safety car ending and we're going to restart the Grand Prix here with Antonelli leading. Now, you know what they say? Safety cars breed safety cars. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have another safety car here. Especially with all the turbos and all the different battery states. Let's hope everyone's got the battery they need. Now, Antonelli is in the lead here. And has that buffer of Colapinto and Ocon, who started on the hard tyres. So they've benefited from that safety car. I'm slightly surprised that Verstappen, for example, didn't choose to start on the hard tyre. Because he would have also benefited. He ended up starting on the softs, but he couldn't get past Lindblad. So Anthony's still in the lead, and Russell still has not been able to get past. Oh, in fact, Hamilton has overtaken George Russell at the start. So Hamilton, a cat amongst the pigeons there. That's very, very, very interesting. So that small turbo, again, may be working miracles. But to be honest, I think Russell was just held up. Russell was just held up by Ocon. And kind of boxed in. And Hamilton was able to strike on George Russell. Because Colapinto and Ocon were having a great battle. In fact, they still are. Oh, it looked like maybe even a little mistake from George Russell that allowed Lewis Hamilton to go through. So Russell might be sweating a bit here. Why is Colapinto in P2? Just go to driver, mate. Just go to... Why are you surprised Colapinto's in P2? That's my question. King says this year might be our year. June says, come on, Lewis. Lewis gets past Ocon as well. Lewis on the move. Lewis on the move here as Leclerc gets past Lindblad. And I wonder if Hamilton will be able to get past Colapinto in short order as well. And maybe in this phase of the race, and on the hard tyres, let's see what the pace is going to be like between the Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton and the driver that replaced him at Mercedes, Kimi Antonelli. Let's see. Gina says Lewis should make it to P2, hopefully. Again, let me know in the chat who you're supporting. Thanks for Real.Norwich JJ. Yeah, smash the like button as well. Lots to do in this stream. Lots to do for sure. Crazy Riddle says Lewis. So surely... Oh, Leclerc gets past Russell as well. Does Russell have a problem here? Leclerc gets past Russell. Into turn 1, by the way. Into turn 1, Leclerc gets past Russell. Russell is slipping and sliding back down. He's going backwards. Here's George Russell. Weirdest race ever. Lahaya, Colapinto is generally better than given credit for. Let's see what happens with Colapinto. At the moment, he's in P3 on the hard tyre. Whether he's really benefited or not, I don't know. Because to be honest, he hasn't gained a... Let's see. Let's see. If everyone's still got to stop one more time, he's doing okay because he's got good track position basically. Russell saying we've got no grip, so Russell not happy about it. Yeah, Gina Kim spotted it in the chat. Maybe a car issue for Russell here, as Ocon is still ahead of George Russell. Let's see what Lindblad might do now. Hamilton and Antonelli. Hamilton with the fastest lap last time around was about, oh my goodness, 1.2 seconds quicker than Antonelli. Maybe the Mercedes are struggling here on the hard tyres. This could be the moment, everyone. This could be the moment for Lewis Hamilton. Meanwhile, Leclerc's going to try and get past Colapinto. We could be talking at this moment about Leclerc does get past Colapinto. Ferrari's on the move. If you're a Tifosi, if you're a member as well, smash those Ferrari emojis in there. Kay says, go away, Hamilton. Well, let's see who you're supporting. Gina says, Lewis, I need it. Michael, Lindblad claws out. Well, Lindblad's got to catch up first, as Russell does get past Ocon, actually. Oh, my goodness. It's very aggressive between Leclerc and Colapinto, who's actually on the exit of turn 3, basically, where Leclerc got that done. Keeping out Antonelli turning on the taps a little bit. Fastest sector 1, fastest sector 2. And yeah, Hadjar has made short work of the slow cars behind. Forza Ferrari from Django. Gina says Hamilton question mark. Let's see. Crazy, we haven't seen Lewis like this since 2023. Hamilton will have got a big slipstream down the back straight from Antonelli there. Less than a second in it, and Leclerc also will be coming for backup as well. Gina Ferrari cooking crazy 1-2 Ferrari. Valvy's got the emojis out. Real don't know Ferrari strategy. No more stops for Ferrari. This is a question here. This is a question. If you can go long, then is this gonna? Do Ferrari want to split here? Maybe Leclerc, given that you know Ocon shouldn't be an issue for Leclerc. Maybe Leclerc should really be hitting a delta that's going to make him not go to the end here, so he can go to the end. So Leclerc might need to see Russell go past him, but maybe Ferrari should split strategy. Dark Cloud says, look at Anthony go. Crazy says, poor Hadjar. Well, keep an eye on Hadjar, because Hadjar's only a couple of positions behind Max Verstappen. Welcome, Reed Rash. Yeah, Russell is chasing right now. Hamilton's still within a second of Anthony. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, hit the like. 194 likes. We've got 1,500 people watching. Chat, everyone hit the like button. Hit that like button right now, and make sure to subscribe right now as well if you want to see more of these, because we'll be back for Japan. So let's come. We want to be getting 1,000 likes. We can do it. 40 laps to go. We can do it, but we need to up the tempo a little bit. And Hamilton still within a second here, maybe biding his time. Look at Anthony go. How do you get the Ferrari emojis? It's for the members. You can join and become a member if you want. 99p. Never force anyone to become a member, obviously. But if you do want them, that's where they are. It's just a YouTube feature. They make it available for the members. I've absolutely spammed that in there. Christoph Mercedes are just too fast. Take about 8 laps to warm up. Then they're gone. Well, let's see. Yellow flag is out. Yellow flag is out. Alfonso a little bit slow. Lindblad. Where's Lindblad? Yellow flag is out. Maybe nothing. Double yellow in sector 16. Maybe there was some wheel banging on the back straight. Now, if there is some shrapnel there on the circuit, I reckon they will VSC this at this stage. Because if they VSC it, once this pack goes around, there'll be enough time for a marshal to recover that. Can someone tell me how McLaren's and why they retired? We think maybe battery. Track clear now. It's been recovered already. Mark says, come on, Sir Lewis. Should I buy F1 TV all year or monthly? I think normally you get a discount if you go all year, don't you? Denzel says, no matter what, I will support Max Verstappen. Well, he's in P9 at the moment. Still Hamilton within a second of Antonelli. Looks like Russell is really catching on Leclerc. In fact, Russell fastest lap last time around, 36.4. However, the Mercedes are... Sorry, the Ferraris are kind of there or thereabouts. Mr. Pro, yo, what happened to McLaren? They didn't even start the race. They couldn't even bother to start, guys. It looks like some kind of issue identified first with Norris's car, and then they pulled Piastri as well. Yeah, so you see Hamilton still around a second from Antonelli, getting quite a nice slipstream here. Maybe able to look after the tyres a little bit nicer as well. Colapinto, meanwhile, in P5. It's going to be a big old Colapinto train, potentially. Potentially. No hate, says Hamilton. Lahai is low-key wishing for a Colapinto podium here. Let's see. If there was a safety car right now, that would actually benefit Colapinto. I say that the gaps are so tight. The gaps are so tight. It looks like Colapinto is doing some mad defense into turn 1, as you might expect. We've already seen him squeezing out drivers on the back straight. So Colapinto is going to make that the widest Alpine you've ever seen. And by the way, what would this do for the championship provisionally? I think this would mean Antonelli would lead the championship. We are looking at potentially the youngest ever race winner, right? For Kimi Antonelli. So we could be seeing the youngest ever race winner in Formula 1. I just don't think Antonelli gets enough credit. Gina says, do you think Kimi has skill or just a fast car? Well, he's got a fast car, but he's also clearly got skill. So he didn't have the fastest car last year. Lack of spam, not appreciated here. Thank you for not spamming. Yes, indeed. Best mods in the game here. Welcome Marcel, Mays, Belinda, Thanu as well. User, is Lewis Hamilton going to win? It's possible. Let us know in the chat if you're supporting Hamilton. 1.2 seconds as Hulkenberg gets past Lindblad on the back straight there. Anthony's absolutely that skilled. Valeria saying, or Valerie. This is our year. Forza Ferrari. Well, let's see. The top 4 drivers, Antonelli, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell. There we go. Ah, so Verstappen was a race winner before he won a pole position. Okay, so ignore me. It wouldn't be record breaking. Would not be record breaking. Hello, sir. How you doing? Honestly, how are there 3 different races in this race? Well, there are 3 different races. You have the race at the front between the Mercedes and the Ferraris, and you have the midfield, aka the Colapinto train. It's basically like Snowpiercer. And then at the back, you've got the embarrassment, like dregs, that were just waiting for them to get picked off, like those rangers in Jurassic Park 2. You know, at some point it's just inevitable, and the entertainment factor is just seeing how long they can survive for. Verstappen was 18 years, 7 months and 15 days. So hang on, is Kimi younger or older? I don't know. Finally, Ferrari making good cars, Valerie says. Well, let's see. Hamilton 1.4, still there or thereabouts, but really, the battle at the front, I think, is not so much about the stopwatch, it's about the tyre degradation. I think this is going to be about tyres. And if Ferrari were to play it really smart, I would have Leclerc try and do this as a one-stop race and try and go to the end. So basically keep that pit stop. The other thing is, if you go really, really, really long, you also benefit from safety cars. Oh, Kimi's not even that young. He's basically ancient. So it's great that you got the pole position record. Dark Cloud Alfonso doing a practice session due for his Union tea break soon. Yes, like cricket. He would join the list of youngest race winners. Okay, well let's just still. It'd be cool to see Kimi win, obviously. Kimi can't drink in America, right? Kimi can't gamble in Vegas. Is that the age? Ilanda saying Kimi turns 20 in August. Okay, so let's keep an eye on the top 4 here, because I'm amazed that Leclerc has managed to stay ahead of Russell for so long. Maybe Russell is really having to look after his tyres. Michael wants the top 4 to stay as it is. Let's see. 21 Nova, there we go. Steven says, if you see my chat, say Max is the best. Well, Max is clearly not the best here. However, Max is up to P7. Let's see what Max can do. Will Max get past... oh, Behrman gets past Colapinto. So Behrman I bet Colapinto squeezed him all the way onto the grass. I wouldn't be surprised if Behrman had to get that done on the grass. So Behrman gets past the cork in the bottle here, which is very interesting because Behrman's also on hard tyres. In fact, they're all on hard tyres here. He's on newer hard tyres. The deployment of the Mercedes looking insane. You're looking at the active aero and everything. Vlacker's driving license is older than Kimi. Now, Ferrari aren't using them. Imagine Ferrari just deploy the Macarena wing. Now, Hamilton dropping back a little bit. Leclerc is now closer to Hamilton than Hamilton is to Antonelli. So it's becoming a little bit attached at the front. I wonder if Leclerc will be on the phone here to the team. And we know how that's done, obviously. If you're new to Formula 1, on their steering wheels they have a WhatsApp button. So you just WhatsApp. And then it will WhatsApp the team and say, yo, tell Hamilton to get out of the way. And it starts a big group chat and Hamilton will be in there doing... They do all the voice note stuff. And Hamilton will say like, no, I'm conserving my tyres and everything. I don't think we'll get a Behrman train, but Verstappen has also got past Colapinto. So Verstappen gets past Colapinto as well. Meanwhile, incidents being noted between Gasly and Verstappen moving under braking. Not entirely sure what that was about, to be honest. Just looked like a good overtake from Verstappen for me. Guy says, yeah, that wasn't fair. He ran me off the road. Yeah, I'm sorry, that wasn't fair. I think that was all fair. All fair is in F1 like that. Craig said, hopefully Ferrari don't mess up this time. Mukesh Kumar and Vogs saying Max P6, but Valerie saying Max getting cooked. Taffy saying, is Max cooking? It seems that no one really knows. I would say Max is cooking here. Let's see if he's going to catch up with Behrman. Because, again, never write off Max Verstappen. He's absolutely dragging that Red Bull, it seems, given how poor they were in qualifying. But with the McLarens out of this, there's an opportunity. Now, at the front of the race, the story seems to be that Leclerc is now very close to Hamilton. So Ferrari need to get this right. What would you do, by the way? Let me know in chat what would you do if you're on the Ferrari pit wall. What do you do if you're on the Ferrari pit wall here? What do you communicate to the team and the drivers? Let me know. Black says, what's going on with Alfonso today? Solid race from him. Well, he's in last, but he is classified so far. Yeah, no further investigation on the Gasly Verstappen thing. I don't think there was anything to investigate there in the first place, frankly. Welcome Talpat Stat as well. Welcome James Manuel Mondero. Dark Cloud says code red. What, code red for Ferrari? What does that mean though? Scuderia Walls. Oh, welcome Lilani Moore. Whoa. Chat, get your claps out, please. Welcome to Lilani Moore to the community. Please do clap that up. Join in the membership. Feel free to get your emojis out. So I'm going to try and make sure those alerts show on the top. Look, all the claps coming out. Welcome to the membership. I'll put some tifosis out there. So, Antonelli, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell. I wonder if Russell's playing a smart game here. I wonder if Antonelli maybe is going to box again. I wonder if Mercedes have actually done the smart strategy, and Russell is going for the one stop, and Antonelli's going to have to stop again. That would be quite interesting, to be fair. Antonelli is 3.5 seconds ahead of Russell, but let's see if he was to drop back and take the fresh tyre. That would be very interesting. Bob James saying it's hammer time. Look at all the claps come out. Best community here. Best community, best mods. Vox, how many cars finished on the lead lap? I'm not sure. Thanden Umlaw, if I were a Ferrari team manager, I would tell the drivers to race it out. Still early days to pick and prioritise. Yeah, but if they race it out, they might lose out to the Mercedes. Max pull out some magic today. Look, I'm saying Max pull out a miracle today. SS World saying Ferrari push, push, push. Susie, 150 more subscribers need to get to 133k. Yeah, if you are a Max Verstappen fan, make sure you subscribe. Get us to 133. And, oh, Russell now. Leclerc gets past Hamilton. Leclerc gets past Hamilton, and Russell surely will follow as well. Hamilton and Leclerc battling. Hamilton and Leclerc clearly battling here into turn 1. So it's Scuderia rules. What happened on the back straight? On the back straight, Leclerc went up the inside of Hamilton. It was a clean overtake. Russell was sniffing around as well. So Leclerc got past. Russell tried to get past Hamilton in the last corner. Hamilton defended. So all three were very close going over the start-finish straight. All sorts of battery stuff going on. Then Leclerc defended. Hamilton swooped round the outside. So clearly no team orders there. Oh my goodness, very close to contact. In fact, there may have been a slight banging of wheels. And Leclerc retained the position. And Russell was well, I say he was watching it. He's about 50 centimetres off Hamilton's bumper. In fact, Russell also momentarily just seemed to get past Hamilton, but then Hamilton defended. You can see the slightly smaller cars here, maybe facilitating this racing. Fantastic racing there. And we're gonna experience it all over again on the back straight, because this time Russell surely is going to try and get past Hamilton, or maybe Hamilton's going to get past Leclerc. We just don't know. This is the kind of racing that we want to see. This is all great news for Antonelli, especially if he's on that two-stop strategy, because he can just do his thing now, as Leclerc seems to stay ahead of Hamilton. But it's Leclerc, Hamilton, Russell, all three of them. High stakes here for Ferrari. They have the most to lose, because Mercedes Antonelli is not involved in this. Manji Hyphen saying, silly of Ferrari to battle. What do you think? Welcome, Lilani Moore, to that membership. I can see you there with the emojis already. Great to see. So yeah, Leclerc, Hamilton, Russell are all extremely close together here. And Ferrari kind of need to do something. Ferrari need to sort this out. They need to make a decision, I would say. Adolf says, come on, Lewis. What's the green dotted lines? That's to do with the new zone system, which no one understands. And I feel like Formula 1 have just given up trying to explain it. Now, let me know in the chat who you're supporting here between Leclerc, Hamilton and Russell. We're not even halfway through this race. Your local says supporting Leclerc, Adolf supporting Lewis. Come on, write in the chat who you're supporting. If you've got the emojis, put them in as well. You do, confusingly, we do actually have a Hamilton emoji, but it is also a Mercedes emoji. So it's like the Aladdin emoji. Akal says Hamilton. Silver Hamilton is Leclerc's road sparring partner. Real Norris, Ferrari. Obnoxious Lewis, Gina Kim got the hammers out for hammer time. At the moment, Leclerc is ahead of Hamilton just. Oh, but Hamilton gets it done. Down the back straight. So Hamilton not messing around here. Hamilton overtakes down the back straight. He'll be loving this. Actual racing for position. This is very unusual. What you're witnessing here is very unusual in Formula 1. We haven't seen the likes of this for many years. Like an actual three-way multi-lap battle. And we don't know how it's going to end. This is how Formula 1 used to be. We don't know how it's going to end here. Because when you get cars racing like this, it doesn't matter that much that one of the cars is, faster, on a practice session. It all goes out the window a bit when you're actually wheel-to-wheel racing. And that's what we're seeing here. So Hamilton did get past on the back straight, but then Leclerc returned the favour down the home straight. Hamilton defended, but Leclerc was able to sweep round the outside into turn 1. They'll be using their tyres here for sure. And Hamilton kept his nose in. Oh my goodness, they're so close to having an instant here. Gina Kimi running away with it. Yeah, good spot. Kimi is now 6 seconds up the road. Kimi might be on his own strategy here. He might pop in for that pit stop in about 10 laps, I would say. And that strategy might work for him. Love by my own said Hamilton is fighting his teammate again. Is it really 2026? Yeah, Hamilton is in the wars. That is for sure. That is for sure. Hamilton and Leclerc really going side by side. And now you can see on the standings, Russell's got past Hamilton here. So we've got multiple teams. This is fantastic. This is what we want to see in Formula 1. Yeah, Russell was kind of Russell might be thinking, hang on a second, I've got to catch up with Antonelli here. I can't afford to stay behind these two clowns. Look at them, teammates battling this much. So Russell pulls the pin and gets past Lewis Hamilton. I think it would have been on the back straight. Yeah, Russell went to the inside and got ahead of Hamilton really early. So maybe that party mode. Hamilton tried to go back around the outside, but there was no doing. So, and now Russell will try and pick the pocket of Leclerc as well. Russell's had enough of this basically, although he couldn't get it done into turn 1. Valerie says, whoa, Russell. Bro, the Ferraris are pushing way too much. Yep, they will have taken it out on their tyres, for sure. For sure, that would have happened. What's wrong with Verstappen? There's nothing wrong with Verstappen. He's just that's what the Red Bull's saying this year. Johnny, another safety car balancing things up here. Look at Lindblad. Did Lindblad box? No, Lindblad presumably had an issue. He's dropped back a lot. So yeah, I think Lindblad might have had a problem at the 14. Maybe he locked up again and spun at 14. Wouldn't surprise me. Local says Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez is just ahead of Alfonso here. Sean Lewis raced way too hard in crosshair position. So what I'm with Lindblad. Lindblad was doing a tear off on his visor. Wasn't battling with anyone. Did he lock up? Yeah, he locked up, and spun it. Very embarrassing from Lindblad there. He actually stalled the car as well. So that really is a rookie error. But he's a rookie. He's as the name suggests, it's okay that he makes some rookie errors. But that was a rookie error. That's why Racing Bulls are the junior team. They put the rookies in there. So Leclerc still stays ahead of Russell. And I wonder if Hamilton will put the pressure on. Well, actually, Russell really tried to get past Leclerc down into 14. No doing, though. Leclerc was able to defend. DP says Perez has perished this year. Let's see if Perez can catch up with Bottas. Why are Leclerc and Hamilton fighting? Because it's Formula 1, it's racing. They should be fighting, should be battling. Gina wanted that double podium for Ferrari. And Valerie saying, come on, Leclerc. Fortnite, do you think Max can win? No. No, Max can't win this. If you are supporting Max, though, remember, put the emojis in. What's Max thinking right now? So Leclerc still ahead of Russell. Keep an eye on the lap time. So Anne's saying 136.5. So he is half a second quicker than what the pack behind is doing. So he's loving this. Russell, man, they're just fast in all the right places. So Russell's been impressed here by the Ferrari pace, but surely Russell will get this done into 14. You would expect. Might have to be a big move and big on the brakes. Does Russell get that done? I don't think... oh, yes, looks like he does. Looks like Russell does get that done into the back straight, but will Leclerc get him straight back? We will see. Remember, a lot of this is down to different battery state of charge. What you got in the battery? Dark Cloud says sandbag mode off. What, for Ferrari? Crazy says Ferrari's going to change their engine for the Belgian GP, I think. Let's see. So Russell still just ahead of Leclerc, so fastest lap of the race to get that done. So got the battery just right. Did Leclerc try and cut him back? No, not really. Okay, so we're in a new phase of the race now with 27 laps left. So we are more than halfway done. The Mercedes and the Ferraris have done 19 laps. But there you go, Ocon. So the first of the hard tyre runners, Ocon, is going to pit now. And he's definitely on a one-stop strategy. So Ocon's on that one-stop, albeit he didn't benefit from the safety car. He didn't benefit from the safety car there. And I wouldn't be surprised then if we see Colapinto also come in, and maybe Hulkenberg as well soon. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Antonelli maybe box at some point, but he's going to give up a lot of track position. So either Antonelli is going to absolutely dominate this race, or he's going to have to give up track position. We will see. Aid being in front there in the safety car within the team is important. How much do you think Antonelli? It's normally about 20 seconds. It's normally about 20 seconds, but here the pit entry is a bit awkward, isn't it? You go quite deep, and we saw what Hamilton did there in previous years in 2007. Dippy says Russell declared Hamilton having a fight, Anthony chilling. Yeah, Anthony could be doing really well, just really profiting from that. Did set the fastest sector out of anyone in the middle sector last time around as well. Lindblad and Lawson getting into it, the teammates there. So let's see, is Colapinto going to box? Hulkenberg going to box? No, doesn't look like it. They're going to go much longer. So interesting that Ocon decided to box. Yeah, 308 likes. Come on, everyone, we want to get this target. We can do it. We can do it. Smash the like button. And see, Leclerc is only 7/10 of George Russell. Maybe Russell's cooked things a little bit, getting past Charles Leclerc. And we are looking at the moment, it seems like we are going to get at least another Ferrari podium as well. So Ferrari there or thereabouts. I mean, Behrman, potential driver of the day for Behrman, because he's on that fresh tyre. He really he's built on the qualifying is what's happened here from Behrman. So Behrman's looking good, and Behrman's going to be in a very good position if there's a safety car potentially. Sean says Ferrari's not fast enough for this rate. It's frustrating. They do have that smaller turbo. That's the downside of having a smaller turbo, you would say. Ali Fatin says, hope Kimi wins. Is there actually a 2-hour race limit? There is a limit, yeah, but they'll pause that. But there is a limit of from when the checkered flag, sorry, when the green flag goes. I think it's like 3 hours the race needs to be done, if I remember. So I'm going to do another nations check. I think it was Indian domination last time, which I think is the first time we've had it. So let us know if you're from anywhere else or from India. You've got to put your nation in, because let's see. Let's get a representative. Let us know where in the world. So try coming Netherlands, SS India, Vlatka Croatia, Susie UK, Taffy from Malaysia, Akil from Sri Lanka, Jago from Netherlands, Mukesh India, Martin Netherlands, Kilrock Netherlands winning, Krish India, Obnoxious Pakistan, Dippy can't lie, Kireth on F1 streamers out there. Thank you very much, Dippy. Appreciate it. Feel free to share the stream. Share the stream right now. It takes 3 seconds on YouTube. Just hit the share icon. Hello Germany, Snoop Spain, Real Duck UK, Valerie India, Crazy Riddle Canada, Aid from Japan, Django from Netherlands. I think Netherlands might be winning. Manzi Italy, Adaf Abu Dhabi, Raven Malaysia, Forward Zimbabwe, MV Maldives, Love from my own Taiwan, Hawaii from Taiwan, Valiox Netherlands, Jolanda Netherlands. I think Netherlands are winning it. Ivana Bray Portugal, Thomas Britton, Anel Dedoka from South Africa, USA Razir from India, Hossein Bangladesh, Tiepi from Poland, Johnny from Milton Keynes, Gaz Cameroon, Barat India, Damien South Africa, Sos Dutch and Indonesia. You got to choose there. You got to choose. It's between Netherlands and India. It's just like the cricket. I don't know if anyone can call that in the chat, but it's a battle we haven't had before actually. Leclerc saying, or being told, Plan C could come into play here. So what's Plan C? As Alfonso must have boxed on the mediums, and Antonelli's going to overtake him for the first lapping of the Grand Prix. So Alfonso's going to filter back here. And we're on 17 cars at the moment, but I predicted 17 cars to finish. That's what I predicted. But let's see. Did I get that right or not right? More Indian in the chat I can see. So, or maybe India has it over Netherlands here. I'm not quite sure. Right, Colapinto does box now. So Colapinto boxed after 32 laps on that hard tyre. And comes out just ahead of Ocon there. So Ocon maybe had to defend from the Ocon undercut. Yellow flag is out. Yellow flag is out, everyone. What's happened here? In Sector 2, maybe some contact between drivers. Colapinto loses out to Ocon. Colapinto going slowly. Has everything been attached on Colapinto's car? I'm not sure. Maybe a problem for Colapinto. It was a 2.6 second stop. And now it looks like maybe Ocon going slow. Was there contact between Ocon and Colapinto on pit exit between Colapinto and Ocon? I'm going to guess and say that there may have been. And also, yeah, Alfonso comes in again. Oh, yes, there was. Colapinto and Ocon. And something's fallen off the Haas. Oh. Wonder what's happened here then. I wonder what's happened here between Colapinto and Ocon. I mean, it's entirely predictable, isn't it? But I wonder what exactly has happened. Penalty to Ocon. Let's see. And Colapinto had to get... I think they both must have spun. I wouldn't be surprised... Oh, actually, I'm going to... So, what happens here? Colapinto comes out the pits on the ragged edge because he knows he's battling with Ocon. He's defending against the Ocon undercut, as we spoke about. Ocon tries to go around the outside at turn 1. He's not there. Then up the inside. Oh, and Colapinto knows what he's doing, I think. It's a bit tricky. They both spin. Contact, they both spin. It's a bit tricky. I wonder if part of it is Ocon putting his car in a position where it was a closing funnel. Because Ocon tried to cut back. Oh, I think that's Ocon's fault. I think Ocon puts his car in a position where Colapinto's car is going. I think it was a bit of a silly move from... I think Ocon was always going to make contact there. So the internet may blame Colapinto for that, but I actually think that's Ocon's fault. Now, there may be debris that comes off there. I think the other teams would be on high alert. Look how far Antonelli is ahead now. Antonelli, 11 seconds ahead. Now, if he is on the 2-stop, you think he'll be able to get past the Ferraris, you think. But Russell now is on the move, and Russell's only 7.5 seconds behind Antonelli now. So I think Ocon was on the radio saying, yeah, that was my fault. If that's what Ocon said, fair play to Ocon, because that was his fault. As Alfonso retires for the moment. So Alfonso temporarily retiring, it seems. How long before he's out again for FP4? 16 cars remain. So yeah, I called it. I wasn't aggressive enough. Don't know if anyone in the chat called 16. Anyone call 16? Paul Buckley says poor Piastri 2 non-starts. Yep. For real, Antonelli is chilling. Well, I wouldn't say he's chilling, to be fair, because if he has to stop again, then let's see, because he might have used more. But it looks like Russell now, maybe both Mercedes know they need to stop again, and that's why Russell is really has increased the pace. Mandy says, is Alfonso? Yeah, Alfonso has retired, it says on there. Leilani, South Africa. Leilani, you might not be live. Make sure you hit that live button. Make sure you catch up. SS says it's Alfonso, not Alonso. Yeah, indeed. Did Dante take his pit stop? No one's pitted yet from the top group. Interestingly, between Hamilton and Leclerc, it's very close. Are they going to be working together here? Well, I'm not sure. Looks like they're battling, frankly. Local says Olive Behrman. Where is Olive Behrman? Olive Behrman is in P5, making his way past the traffic of Cadillac. This is the thing, right? There's a whole media thing with like Cadillac. It's like, oh, Cadillac here is amazing. This is America's here. Yeah. The Haas is about to lap the Cadillac. I don't think the Haas gets enough love. I don't think Haas get the credit they deserve, frankly. But Ocon, Behrman is... So I was looking at the wrong position there, but maybe Behrman will overtake the Cadillacs. But Ocon is actually in a battle with the Cadillacs after that spin. And it was close between the Ferraris at the front. They are really battling. They are not seemingly working together. Hamilton is having power issues, Sean Woodson says. Silver reckons it's getting a bit sweaty for Kimi. I just don't know what Kimi's strategy is right now, because if he's on the two-stopper, he's in a pit window right now with 21 laps to go, having done 25 on the hard. He'll probably want to finish on the medium, I'm guessing. However, if there's a safety car, the big thing here is safety car window. James is going to go and get Apple. Very nice. Daniel says any race wins... any chance for Ferrari? Yeah, potentially. For example, if there was a safety car that was to come out after the Mercedes had gone past the pits, then it could be fantastic for Ferrari. Let's see. Local says Alfonso still racing in Hondas. Let's see if he's going to come back out again. 10-second time penalty for Ocon. Chat, put your drink emojis there. Everyone needs to have a drink. 10-second time penalty for Ocon. I'm not sure that is a drink. I thought that was a cocktail, but now I think it might be some noodles. 10-second time penalty for Ocon there. It was a ridiculous move, frankly. The prophecy has been fulfilled. Why is the gap between Verstappen and Behrman increasing? Well, Verstappen did his fastest lap last time around, so let's just keep an eye on that one. Crazy. What a weekend for Kimi. He breaks Vettel's record, and now he might get his very first win. Let's see, indeed, as he's catching up with Hülkenberg in the Audi, who has just boxed also for medium tyres. So we are definitely in pit window. The meme came true. Exactly. Black has got the drinks out. SK's got the drinks out as well. I wonder if Russell will box and try and do some kind of undercut or something. Let's see. And the Ferraris. Somehow I doubt they're all going to go to the end, especially with the Mercedes pace, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong here. It does... let's see, because also keep an eye on Colapinto. When the likes of Sainz and Lindblad pit, Colapinto will jump both of them. With Hadjar, I think Hadjar's going to be out ahead of Colapinto, but let's see. Colapinto's going to inherit a few positions here, I think, when the others pit, depending on the circumstances. Aesthetic says, can Leclerc win P2? It's possible, but the pace is being exposed now. The pace is being exposed. To just explain, George Russell is going around a second a lap quicker than the Ferraris right now. Martin Haas at this moment just a faster car than the Red Bull, yeah. Maybe Max Verstappen is going to move to Haas. Sensational. What do we think? Verstappen to Haas? Tubito says, mark my words, the Ferraris will crash into each other in turn 3. Well, let's see. Hopefully not for them. Chaya said Anthony is losing pace a little bit. Is he going to box? I mean, at some point, you know, you have to accept the risk that you might have bad luck with a safety car. But it's better sometimes to make your own decisions than wait for good luck. And I want the only thing I can think here is whether the Ferraris are definitely on a one stop. However, given Leclerc was saying maybe plan C an option, I'm not sure that's the case. So the only dynamic I can think here that would be really exciting is if the Mercedes have to box again and the Ferraris don't. That would be super exciting. In fact, Antonelli turns the pace up massively, 135.5. So I wonder if that's going to happen. Now, you'd imagine the Ferraris will be sitting ducks, unless they are actually kind of working together and being smart. Maybe there's all kind of software trickery the teams can do, where they can really maximise cars working together. 15 laps on the mediums. Is that what you're thinking in terms of pit window? So we're approaching pit window. CP says, I feel sorry for Alfonso. Another season goes by for him, yeah. Brand says, Max will be moving 24 hours. He hates the new car. Well, he's doing both. He's doing both. I have raced against Max in a 24-hour race, actually. So it would be cool to see him do it in reality. Sean says, we're approaching the point of no return in a few laps if a major incident happens and brings out the safety car as Anthony goes past the pits. I see that the Ferrari pace between them is quite similar as they do swap positions. And again, I wonder if they're being really sensible here. I mean, what an impressive display it would actually be if Ferrari were able to work as a team. It would be impressive. I don't think anyone would begrudge them. Now, they are inspecting some tyres in the Ferrari garage. Because one option is that they could try and do some kind of undercut here. One option Ferrari could do, yeah, and Hamilton didn't defend actually. Leclerc got past Hamilton, Hamilton didn't defend, which makes me think it is coordinated. One thing they could do is they could box one of the Ferraris, which may force the Mercedes to undercut, to box, not defend the undercut, and then the other Ferrari goes long. Like, that could happen. That could happen. The problem is, as it stands, Antonelli is basically almost within pit window. Hamilton got it back into turn 1, by the way, and that was a little bit more messy. Not quite clean and coordinated. And Anthony's hitting the traffic as well, so we have traffic to contend with and think about. Dipty says, can you please tell that Russell can win or not? Well, it depends on strategy here. We're all looking at the pit entry. Gino, they get so close, I hope they don't crash. Yeah, they are quite close. Let them keep an eye on the pit entry here for Antonelli. No box for Antonelli. Keep an eye on Russell. No box for Russell, because obviously one outcome potentially is that the Mercedes are just super quick here, and they're not going to box again. And actually, if the Ferraris end up boxing here, and the Mercedes don't, this is going to be a shocking gap. It's going to be a shocking gap. And also, which Ferrari is going to get on the podium? It's interesting. Dippy, do you think Verstappen will go to Mercedes next season? I think clearly, if the Red Bull pace is like this, Verstappen is up for grabs. If anyone's got a big enough checkbook, I'm pretty sure Verstappen will have a performance clause in the contract, i.e., it might be that if he doesn't finish high enough, he can go free or something like that. But irrespective of that, I think he'll want to go if he doesn't see hope at Red Bull. Dark would be great to see Hammy Ford Hamilton to Red Bull. Straight swap. Chai is saying Alfonso retiring due to vibrations again. Such a shame for Aston Martin and just frankly embarrassing. They need to get that right, obviously. Okay, we keep our eyes on the pit entry again here for Antonelli. Let's see. Is Antonelli going to come in? Nope. What about Bottas? Because Bottas and Perez are also due to come in, to be honest. So they're looking even worse. I think we may see the Haas potentially lap a Cadillac here. A lot would need to happen, but let's see. Chai, embarrassing indeed. There needs to be some progress in the cars. I mean, I was at a sim event a couple of weeks ago, and I got a flat spot in my car. And because I was racing, it was like an actual race. Leclerc saying there's actually quite a fun battle. And I had massive vibrations. That was just in a sim. So I can see like how in reality, like I actually can't drive this. The thing on a sim, you can always be like, I'm just going to step out. So I do feel for the Aston drivers there, to be honest. Muad says, shout out to Behrman. He's been great so far. Yeah. Michael Ferrari carrying the whole season's worth of entertainment. I don't think there's much Ferrari can do here. I think the Ferrari's only hope is that there's a safety car and everyone boxes and they bunch right up. I think that's the only hope for Ferrari. I've got to be honest. There's nothing else they can do. So I feel like Ferrari can't really pit because they absolutely need a safety car in order to improve their positions. Meanwhile, Behrman is driving quite handily back in P5. It's going to be a great result for Behrman. And neither Mercedes boxes that time either around. Max P5, please. I don't think Max is going to get past Behrman, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah, do smash the like button. 371 likes. If everyone watching, 2,000 people watching, if everyone hits it right now, it goes without saying. If everyone hits it, we're gonna do mad stuff on the like front. We can get 1,000 likes right now. Everyone, press that like button. Absolutely destroy it. I'm gonna keep it here for a moment. Destroy the like button, everyone. Destroy it. Let's not mess around now. So Verstappen, 2 and a bit of seconds off Behrman. Pace from Verstappen was quicker than Behrman last lap around. See, look at the likes absolutely go mad here. Look at this. Huge. Huge on the like front. Keep going. We're gonna steam past 500. We're gonna steam past 500 with 14 laps to go. 493. Is Hadjar gaining? Good recovery from Hadjar here to get into the points. I think maybe we should recognise... Oh, someone does box. Someone does box. Is it Lindblad maybe in the box? Yeah, Lindblad in the box. Welcome. Thanks so much, everyone. Okay. Now we know what we need to do. Now we know what we need to do. Thank you so much. 524 likes. That's huge. I just need to bring it to everyone's attention. Right, Lindblad does box here. So after 42 laps on that hard tyre because he had... well, he hasn't... So yeah, 42 laps on that hard tyre. Wow. Interesting strategy from old Lindblad. I think he also had that spin on that tyre as well. How many more races do you think before a team tries to clean up Mercedes of cheating? Well, this amount of domination... As Hamilton gaps Leclerc a bit, by the way. Hamilton 1.7 ahead of Leclerc right now. Yeah, for the sport, they might try and equalise it. Remember, there is that 1st of June new date for the temperature for the engine compression ratio testing. Is Russell struggling? Nope. Russell was faster than Anthony last lap. Russell was probably one of the fastest drivers on circuit. Well, yes, he was. Keep an eye on the Lindblad place on the medium tyre. 13 laps to go. If Mercedes ask Antonelli to pit right now, that'll be very unpopular. Because imagine they ask Antonelli to pit, but they don't ask Russell to pit. Imagine that. That'd be very, very, very unfair on Kimi. Surely they won't do it. But maybe Mercedes will feel like, okay, we anticipate that the other teams are really going to put pressure on us. They are going to try and get stuff changed. But yeah, are we ready for Mercedes domination? I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're ready for Mercedes domination. It could be like this for the next few years. Are we ready? Right, chat, I'm going to put the sub thing up here because, come on, let's get to 133k as well. Let's get that one ticked over. So Antonelli, again, fastest at 135.3. I think it could be the case that this is just a Mercedes pace, because if they were going to box, I feel like they would have done it. So this is kind of worrying here for the rest of the season. Seb, I was visiting Ferrari Museum and somebody said Max may join Scuderia next year. Okay, but I doubt they have the inside intel there, to be honest, but you never know. Chai, how big is a chance Mercedes ride this race out on their current tyre? I think it's massive that they're going to ride this out on the current tyres. I really do. Oh, look at the subscribers going up as well. We know we want to try and hit that 133. Oh my goodness. It's moving in real time. It's real-time data. It's moving in real time. The thing is, I feel like Antonelli, this is the way it works. They can't pit Antonelli unless they pit Russell. They can't risk boxing Antonelli in case Russell's like, actually, I don't want to box. Because they'll be absolute villains if they do that. And they can't box Russell because Russell isn't quite ahead, I think, of the Ferraris. So they're in a bit of a bind here. The only reason that'd be a problem for Mercedes is if the tyres are going to fall off a cliff at the end. That's the only way it would be a problem. Wow, look at the subscribers coming in. Problem Verstappen, problem Verstappen, problem Verstappen. Yes, indeed. Verstappen has dropped down the order here. Problem Verstappen. I'm looking at the gears. Oh, no. And Hadjar even is going to overtake Verstappen. What's going on for Verstappen? Are we going to have a safety car here? Potentially, we might be looking at a safety car, everyone. Thanks so much for subscribed. Hopefully, we'll hit that 133. Are we going to have a safety car? Verstappen looks like he's got some kind of reliability problem. And being told, let's retire the car. I think Verstappen is going to be concentrating on his GT3 stuff maybe this season. And, yeah, if I was any other team with a Mercedes engine saying, look at all the subscribers. Angelica, Nawaz, Alex, Manmick, Felicia, Abdul, Unique, Offash as well. Yeah, so sorry everyone who's supporting Verstappen, but Verstappen out. That's going to promote Gasly up to P6, by the way. So big points potentially for Gasly. Is Verstappen going to make it to the pit entry? Surely he's not going to conk out. surely he's not going to conk out here. But Verstappen surely will have entered the pit lane. Some kind of issue for Verstappen. Yeah, he landed on it there. Max have tried the car. Why is Mercedes so fast? They've got the best engine. And they've got the best engine of best combination of engine and car. So there goes Verstappen. Box, 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 retire. That's going to take us down to just 15 riders in this race. So I don't know if anyone called 15 before the start of the race. Yeah, also maybe potentially the battery as well. Not enough spoken about the battery side of things. So 10 laps to go. The Mercedes are just doing fast lap after fast lap after fast lap. Not sure what happened with the Red Bull. Did it not just want to get out? Oh yeah, just seemed to be... Don't know if he was stuck in... Was he stuck in third gear maybe? Johnny says 5th place lapped. I don't think 5th place has been lapped. So, don't think that is the case, my friend. I might be wrong, but I don't think it is the case. Dashboard went blank for Verstappen. Do we want to see the wheel? Again, it was the LEDs I saw at the top. To me, it looked like gear, but it might be some other combination. You can't lap the Bearman. Well, you can, but he hasn't been lapped here. T says, you're a good commentator, low-key. Does that mean I have to be more low-key about it? Yeah, Ante just racking up those fast laps. Let's see what happens here again. A 1:35.5 is still quick. It's still a second quicker than Russell did last time around. Let's see what happened to Russell here. Remember, you know, Russell, they were 35.6, so Russell with another good lap. But what we saw with Verstappen here at the end of the race, and what we've seen with the McLarens before the beginning, shows that reliability is a thing. And in fact, Esteban Ocon is in the pits. So why is Ocon in the pits? Maybe Ocon retiring as well. So very, very, very attritional race. Even more attritional than I thought. I think Ocon could be retired as well, potentially. Well, the engine's on actually, first gear. Actually, maybe we're going to see Ocon coming out the pits here. Maybe it's a late pit stop for Ocon, which I wouldn't understand. So the revs are dropped from Ocon. So actually, I'm not sure what's going on with Ocon. I think Ocon's probably out. I think Ocon's probably out here. Which means, sensationally, after I've clowned them for so long, and I'm looking like a clown myself now, because the Cadillac, sensationally, as Ocon does come out of the pits after a long stop, the Cadillacs are only a few places off the points here. This could be sensational points for Cadillac. Look how far ahead Bottas is from Perez as well. Right, Russell has been catching Hülkenberg for a while, so he's going to lap Hülkenberg. Lap P11. And so he doesn't box either. And the Ferraris are kind of in no man's land at the moment. Valerie says, come on, Ferrari. Marks Olivia says, no, Max. Yeah, retirement for Max here. Welcome, Yuki, Iron Bassi, Scarespin, and SP Tango as well. Just 19 subscribers amongst anyone who's not subscribed. I know so many of you are already, obviously. But if you're not yet, you've got to smash it. We'll get to 133. Great effort from Sainz. Yeah, look at Sainz dragging that uncooperative Williams into P9. And surely all those hard tyre runners are going to try and go to the end. However, keep an eye if anyone squeaks and anyone does decide to box. And maybe they're running those hard tyres super long. Maybe that safety car happened a bit earlier than people would have wanted. We could see some real issues on the tyres. Yuki Snowder just subscribed. Very nice. Welcome, Yuki. Hope to see you back in the F1 car very soon. Sean said, what was the point in bringing Perez and Bottas in a tractor-trailer car? Well, they're only a few positions off the points. That's why. Max DNF. Yeah, not often he DNFs. You have to think the Mercedes are nice to the tyre. So yeah, look at Hamilton here. Hamilton has gapped Leclerc quite a bit. So Hamilton clearly wants this podium. Hamilton fancies the podium. And meanwhile, Gasly catching Bearman. Keep an eye on Gasly and Bearman, by the way. Bearman's lapped his teammate. Paul Buckley had just done well in 8th in climbing. Yeah, Herta needs to do very well in F2. I mean, if he doesn't do well in F2, then the decision makes itself. Michael Lawson in front of Hadjar. Yeah, but it's a good recovery from Hadjar, to be honest. It's a good recovery. I still would be surprised if it was driver error, what happened to him early on in the race. That meant he had to pit 'cause he had cooked his tyres. Dipty says, you're so happy for Hamilton to get a bare man. And Gina's proud of Sainz for getting points. Yeah. And going long. Colapinto, meanwhile, is about to get lapped here. Colapinto's on the medium tyres. Now, Sainz has just done his fastest lap of the race. However, Colapinto's half a second off. So actually, I think Colapinto is going to nab some more points from Sainz here. Is my hunch. 7 laps to go of the Grand Prix. Yeah, Hamilton podium. If you're supporting Hamilton, put those emojis in the chat. If you just got the coloured one, put the coloured ones in. If you got the full ones, put them in as well. Because a Hamilton podium here is what he needs. If the gap closes on the cars later in the season, these podiums and these points are going to make a big difference. Stephen, what happened to Maxwell? Unsub. Brian says, simply lovely. That's what happened. Okay, Antonelli has just lapped Colapinto. I'll be amazed if any of the front runners jump into the pits here. Back in the day, maybe Mercedes would have enforced both of those. Oh, it was a 10-second time penalty for Ocon as well. Maybe back in the day, Mercedes would have enforced both of their drivers to box so they can get fastest lap. But there's no fastest lap point now, so. There we go, Vlaka's got the notice in. Johnny, by the end of the season, I think Williams will be the most improved car. It feels like Williams copium to me. So what we want to keep an eye on now for everyone watching, 2,000 people watching, welcome aboard. Thank you so much. We've got massive likes, and I think we're going to hit the subscribe as well. What we want to keep an eye on is reliability. So is anyone starting to run slow? Remember Lando had the big reliability issue here a couple of years ago, or last year even. With the brake, wasn't it? And he just managed to get it done, and at the end of the season, those points won in the championship. Although it seems to me that no one remembers Lando being world champion. Like, it's so weird. It feels a bit like MotoGP has felt at times, where you have a world champion, but then before you know it, it's pre-season, next season, you kind of forget who the world champion is. It's relevant. It kind of feels like, ironically, Formula One have changed the cadence of how we view the sport. Like, for decades, being a world champion in Formula One was mythical, carried huge weight. Even if you were a one-time world champion like Kimi Raikkonen or Jenson Button, it carried huge weight. And I feel like this is the first time I can ever remember that being the world champion feels like it carries zero weight. And to be honest, like I say, I feel like that's what we've seen in MotoGP, where it feels faster paced and more transitional. Welcome Mohammed, Daniel Iman, Daniel DeMonte, Zaid, Dale Wilson as well, and Dragon. Gina, in your opinion, what can the Ferrari do to get double podium? Well, they have to get the strategy right. I mean, even if they got the strategy wrong here, they'd still be in the same positions. That we have to face reality. Oh, thanks on 133k, everyone. Thanks so much. Look at that. 133k. Something for the Verstappen fans. Righty, what's the 1-3? You were waiting. You waited 129,999 subscribers to go before you. And you'd marked out for 5 years. You'd staked out this moment. So for that, I have to congratulate you on your dedication. Yeah, check that off. Sorry, what I was going to say is actually maybe a bit depressing. We have to be real here. You know, we may not be ready for Mercedes domination. We've been lucky the last few seasons. You know, and I don't think Formula One institutionally or in the wider fan base is ready for Mercedes domination. I don't think they're ready. At the beginning of a new regulation cycle, you know, McLaren were dominant last season, but it was the end of a cycle. And I think with the whole Lando Piastri thing, like that was actually quite exciting. Like, I'm not sure we're ready here for this. That said, Russell is not getting it all his own way. Big lockup from, oh my goodness, huge degradation on the fronts of Charles Leclerc's tyre. That front left is taking some real punishing. Hopefully we're not going to have any punctures. I wonder if Leclerc might need to box here. Even though there's 4 laps to go, I wonder if they'll just play it safe and box Leclerc. Because he's got plenty of gap. And that front left looks really punished. Yeah, Anthony, however, just keeps going faster. I think driver of the day, if all things like this, driver of the day for me. I know Behrman's up there, but I think it has to be Antonelli for me. Leakage call is coming from the Dutch live blog, so that is verified. Leakage cooling system caused DNF of Verstappen. Josh, without Christian Horner and Toto, he won't be as good. Seb Anthony will not play the game. He will fight for the championship. But I think Russell will be in the long run. Yeah, that'll be exciting. That'll be exciting. But this is really very dominant here. I mean, we're talking Antonelli is a second. He's just gone slower there for some reason, but Antonelli is a second a lap faster. The Mercedes are really a second a lap faster than the Ferraris, and that's with them. Still, they'll be sandbagging. So the veil has dropped here a little bit because of the nature of the race and safety cars. You know. Oh yeah, sorry. Kimi went very deep at turn 1. Got to be careful, Kimi. Sorry, at turn 14 he went deep. But it's interesting now when you think back to Russell being behind the Ferraris, and we were like, oh, it's a 3-way battle. It wasn't really a 3-way battle. Russell was just watching it because he got so much more pace. So what happened with Kimi going into turn 14? Was it a big old lockup? Oh my goodness, a big lockup and bite on the front right. Big lockup. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another DNF hit. I wouldn't be surprised. Tobito, I think top 4 didn't take pit stop. No, they took pit stop on the safety car. They got it right. And Anthony been told just to get the thing home. Why did Max retire? We're told it's some kind of coolant leak. Blacker, what do we think? Is so much DNF the new normal? I think it'll be the new normal for a while, yeah. For a while. And, you know, it's good, I think, that reliability is a big feature of Formula 1 again. How could you can see visually the tyre degradation. You can see the graining on the tyre. Unfortunately, after the race, you can't really see it because they pick up rubber over the top. There is also then a guy who scrapes off the rubber, by the way. So if you're actually at a circuit around the back, it can be very interesting. Aston Martin is struggling, yeah, to say the least. No Aston Martins or McLarens finishing this race. Audi, you know, not in the points, Audi, but at least they're finishing in P11. Colapinto, Alpine double points finish. Hadjar making sure Red Bull gets some points. And who knows, with the reliability, who is the flag waver? The flag waver is just called flag waver. First name flag, second name waver. I find that quite disrespectful to whoever that person is, to be honest. Whenever it's a wag, they seem to be very clear to get the name, which I also think is quite disrespectful, to be honest. Because all these people do stuff in their own right. But now, that person's just been demoted to F waver. Dipty sad for Alfonso. VNet more DNFs hidden last race. Yeah, more punishing, I think, at China. China more brutal. Taking less prisoners. Welcome Umit, Hickey, Synergy, Jacob, and FB as well. By the way, I will be doing a post-race for Formula Fan TV after this. That hopefully will come out today. We'll see. Got a new system there. Got some new tech involved. But final lap now for Antonelli. Final lap. Yeah, final like push as well. Let's see where we can get to on the like front. So, interestingly, the Mercedes didn't need to box again. And we need to be real about this. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is Mercedes domination. And you can get used to this. for the rest of the season, or at least until June. But I don't think it's going to change too much after June, to be honest. And any time that we think it's close, anytime we think it's close in free practice, whatever, just bear in mind that it's not actually close, because the Mercedes are so dominant here, so ridiculously dominant. Now the Ferrari is trying to do some pace back, but you know, the difference between Antonelli and Leclerc is 30 seconds. So I remember when Verstappen, you know, started to win by like 20 seconds, 22 seconds, I think in Japan a couple of years ago, we were like, that's dominant. This is 30 seconds. You know, and that's without even seeing the gap to the McLarens. Marco Antonelli in the garage, looking happy about this. Thanks, Chinray. Yeah, the Mercedes engine is very fast. Does it cost money to like the stream? It doesn't cost money to like the stream. Feel free to like the stream. But yeah, Kimi is about to become a race winner in Formula 1. I think the first of many, and I think a future world champion as well. So feel free to put the Kimmys in the chat. And there goes Kimi Antonelli, who wins by 6 seconds over George Russell. It shows how important qualifying is going to be. Are we going to have a Hamilton-Rosberg couple of seasons here between Russell and Antonelli? And it is Russell second. I think that will mean that, well, I'm not sure what the championship is, but it's going to be very close between them. Thanks, Chin. Yeah, there, Kimi over the line. Max should have joined Mercedes when Toto called. Lewis should have stayed. They could have had Lewis. It doesn't work. For Russell and Antonelli, it's great for them. And Lewis Hamilton gets on the podium. So Lewis Hamilton on the podium. And Antonelli does a little burnout before going over the line, which is kind of a bit risky. Toto Wolff, really happy. And Peter Boddington engineering more race victories as well. If Kimi wins the World Championship, he'll be the youngest. Keep breaking records. There's 2 flags being waved. I'm not sure I've ever seen 2 flags being waved, so I don't know what's going on there. But it's happening. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton on the podium. Charles Leclerc 4th. And I wonder if it'll be bittersweet for Ferrari. This time last year, they won the sprint race. And I think they'd had a decent race, but they got disqualified shortly afterwards. So let's hope Ferrari don't get disqualified. But it might be bittersweet, because on the one hand, it's a podium for Hamilton. On the other hand, it may be a recognition that he's not going to win another World Championship, because the Mercedes is so quick, and he chose to leave Mercedes. Mercedes were very happy with him, and he chose to leave. And sometimes you take risks and they don't come off. Sometimes you take risks. I mean, obviously the bank balance, you know, might be very happy about it. Kimi's overjoyed and screaming his lungs out on the radio. Very nice. Gina, like Ted said, 1, 2, 3 Mercedes, the past, present, and the future. Don't count out Verstappen yet. I'm very happy to count out Verstappen. I am counting Verstappen out of this championship. He is counted out for me. Kireth Balang Ganger Darren says, let's go podium for Hamilton. Octave Moyes, the season is long, don't rule it out yet. I know the season's long, but you're expecting Mercedes to fumble this. It's not about just Verstappen getting faster and better and with Red Bull. You're expecting Mercedes to give up more than a 30-second lead. I don't think that's going to happen. Yolanda Vesey perfect. Kimi, let's go. Annoyed Pig, let's go Kimi. Kimi first win. Valeria, let's go Kimi. Yeah, everyone's happy for Kimi, for sure. Certainly a bit more interesting than having just a Russell win. Or 2 Russell wins in a row, I should say. So splitting that between Russell and Kimi does make it more interesting than just pure Russell domination. Chai says, first podium for Hamilton since Vegas 24. Yeah. Long time for Hamilton in China as well. Seb Horner would have a lot to say about Mercedes. Yeah, we saw this last season in Abu Dhabi where I don't think Red Bull were aggressive enough. I said, and there's videos on this, I said Red Bull should have thrown the kitchen sink in Abu Dhabi because it could be years or they could never have another chance. Like, when I say never, Red Bull might decide to pull out of Formula 1 or like crazy things happen. Like that could have been the last chance they had. And they should have thrown in the kitchen sink and boxed Verstappen. Because remember, Verstappen finished that race as the fastest car. And I think people forget that, right? People forget that. So much has changed in such a short amount of time. Behrman also strong, future World Drivers' Champion. Yeah, Behrman looking strong. P5. 3 Ferrari engine cars there, interestingly. And then Gasly, great result for Lawson. Hadjar, Sainz dragging it in there, and Colapinto as well. And to be fair to the Cadillacs, they have finished. They have finished. So that's great to see from Cadillac. Welcome Arif Chain Mode Nor as well. Why did Max retire? We think coolant. Gina, nice progress. Lewis with Ferrari. Last year was bad from Glad still be competitive. Yes, indeed. Yeah, righty. What's your opinion on the Mercedes engine? I just think the Mercedes engine is just good. People are going to, I think, hang on to like the compression ratio. I understand it's already been tested at 115 degrees. I understand it's already been tested there. So I think the Mercedes engine is just good. I think Mercedes is just strong. As Kimi is overjoyed. Everyone's really happy for Kimi. And how can you not be happy for Kimi, frankly? Great to see. And I feel like Kimi is a real character, and I feel like Kimi is... Hopefully his character's going to stay the same, even if he gets into all the politics of a world championship fight with a teammate. And I feel like Kimi is set up perfectly to be the fan favourite over over Russell in Mercedes. I don't know if anyone agrees. Thanks, Silver Cycler. Thanks for joining. Nugent, has Endurance Motorsport been released? No. I think the date was leaked, but I'm probably not allowed to say the leaked date. Chai is so proud, little one. James Braun dominated like this in 2008. It came down to the wire. I know, but Braun are Mercedes, but also Braun were not Mercedes, if that makes sense. Like Braun were not Mercedes with the years of success, of operational success they've had now. Bono congratulates Hamilton. You know, Mercedes is more than just the engine. It's more than just the engine for Mercedes. But they also have the engine, but it's not just the engine. It's more than the engine. Toto happy for Lewis. It's a feel-good podium. I think this is where Formula 1 want to get to. Is Formula 1 want to have this kind of like franchisey feeling where, oh, it's great, it's a podium for Perez, it's been such a long time. Oh, great, it's a podium for Lindblad, he's a rookie. The reality is, the reality of Formula 1 is not like that. So I quite enjoy that disconnect, to be honest. Now, what things Formula 1 will try and change on the sporting side to make it a bit more franchisey, I'm very interested to see. New Gen Jesse advertising face pros on sale. Yeah, but that'll be a pre-order there, I'm sure. Thanks, Suzy. Great stream. Yeah, it's been a great stream. 636 likes and 133,000 subscribers. And Gasly was the Speedmeister, top speed of the race. That Alpine going from being a good downforce car to now top speed of the race. And Chaya is the first Italian driver in 20 years who's won a Grand Prix. Can anyone name the last winner? And I thought it was 21 years. Can anyone name the last winner? Anyone name the last Italian winner? Yeah, Kimi looks so happy. He's only the second teenager to win an F1 Grand Prix. I feel a bit of the Valentino Rossi around Kimi. I feel a bit of the Valentino Rossi. I have to be honest. Special things. And he's breaking down a little bit in the interviews. Obviously he's worked basically his whole life for this. He's got a big career ahead of him. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think everyone's happy for Kimi here. And I do think it gives a bit of a dynamic in the same way last year we had a dynamic between Oscar and Lando, and that added a bit of texture to the season. Obviously, you had the mad added thing then of Verstappen getting faster and the Verstappen charge, but here there's an interesting dynamic with Kimi and Russell, where I've said I've said previously this season I think Russell's going to pull rank over Kimi. Well, Russell couldn't pull rank here, and the double stack really cost Russell, if we remember. Yeah, Kimi getting emotional. Thanks, Slacker. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to be in Madrid for Formula E next weekend, so hopefully we'll do some live streams there. So I'll try and let the mods know in advance. It'd be good to do some paddock live streams. I'll try and get some data. And yeah, Fisichella for Jordan, I thought. In Brazil. That's what I thought. I thought that was 2005. Welcome Info Mamako as well. And weekend after it will be Japan. So we will go all again in Japan. And I might reach out. I might try and reach out to the sponsors. I might try and get these streams sponsored. I don't know. I guess like a energy drink or VPN. I might just send some emails. Hey, look, guys, you want to sponsor this? Might have a little strip up here or something. Just a little strip here, brought to you by, you know, someone. Even if it's for like 20 quid. I want to sell this space for 20 quid. So if anyone's got a business in chat, that can be yours. I think that'd be quite cool to do. Kind of fits in with the F1 theme. Yeah, Lewis is so happy for Kimi, which is great to see. And George as well. Oh, it's Malaysia! So was it Malaysia in the Benetton? Was it Malaysia in the... Sorry, not in the Benetton, in the Renault then? Was it Fisichella in the Renault? Didn't Fisichella drive for Ferrari after that as well? I guess he didn't win anything. Or was he the driver who stepped in for Schumacher? Was that 2004? I can't remember now. Chai, I don't know what I'll be here next week. Boyfriend has 5 friends over. Sounds involving. Yeah, Lewis really happy for everyone here, which is great to see. Fisichella in the Renault. Okay. So that's been an interesting dynamic, I have to say. 15! Goodness me, that's going to be intense then. Did McLaren and Red Bull have a limit on their wind tunnel time? You do get penalised in terms of, I think, not just wind tunnel, but maybe even like your CFD hours. Depending on how well you place in the championship. So that's designed to be a bit of an equaliser. Did you enjoy the race despite Mercedes dominance? I mean, I always enjoy the race, hanging out with you guys and watching the race. Doesn't really matter what happens. I mean, it may be that if you watch this race on TV, it could have been really boring. Because TV tends to focus on the leaders and, you know, and here we can drop into the midfield and see what's happening. But I think by any stretch of the imagination, it's not the most exciting race. But it's interesting to see how the storylines develop over a season. However, I think on TV, this could have been really boring, I imagine. So that'll be interesting to see what the wider reception is. But I think here, like seeing, you know, Lawson get up there, seeing Behrman, see Gasly, the midfield up for grabs, the late drama with the McLarens, the late drama with Verstappen, and now we're thinking, okay, well, is Verstappen looking at Mercedes team thinking, you know, is there a chance that Mercedes replace Russell with Verstappen? Sounds insane. Sounds insane, but could be. So he says, best stream out there. Who won the race is on the map, Antonelli. Yeah, we do the stream for Japanese. We'll be here for Japan as well. So Kimi signs the champagne, but can he drink the champagne? Chat, is Kimi allowed to drink? What are the rules in China? What are the rules in China? Yeah, if you subscribe, you should get the notifications because sometimes the stream's gone quite late. It's a long message from Kimi. Maybe F1 changed the rules on you have to be 18 now to enter F1 because there was pressure from the champagne suppliers that they can't afford to have winners not drinking their champagne. It's non-alcoholic. No, we're not in Saudi. Why would that be a thing in China? Thanks, New Jenny. I'm gonna go to Wetherspoons again. I did not have a good Wetherspoons breakfast yesterday. I'm gonna be honest. I got the large breakfast. Then first they gave me a vegan one, and I was like, oh, "This looks like vegan sausages." So, oh yeah, sorry, made a mistake. And the coffee wasn't good because sometimes the coffee in Wetherspoons, sometimes it doesn't have half the stuff available. And the bacon was really not good. So, and the eggs were not good. So I'm going to try again. Maybe they're a different chef. I don't think it's Michelin starred. The legal age to drink alcohol in China is 18 years old. Okay. Right, chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a post-race recap for Formula Fan TV. And that will go to our editor, who's doing a really good job. And that will go live on Formula Fan TV, but I'll tag in this channel. So I'm going to record that now. And yeah, I'll do a post. So go check that out if you want to see any more thoughts I have as I go through the order. Thanks, Gino. It's good to have you here. I think your first season watching. I enjoy hanging out here. Your commentary is understandable and I feel comfortable asking questions, so thank you. Happy fan channel. Great to have you on board. And I've seen some really interesting observations as well. Imagine saying no to a vegan breakfast. Well, hang on. Did it have egg? It had eggs on it though, so I don't know how that works. But anyway, they just got the order wrong. But it was only like £7.15 or something for. Which actually, to be honest, maybe I should get the small breakfast. Okay, right. I'm going to do my video, and then I'm going to have some breakfast. Keep an eye on the videos coming up. Remember, if you want pure motorsport stuff, Formula Fan TV, maybe a mod can just put a link in there. Formula Fan TV, a lot of content coming out there now. Obviously, also on Instagram. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on TikTok. Hit me up on Twitter, whatever it's called as well. You can find me on there. Doing a ton of content. It'd be great to have your thoughts on that as well. But until next time, which is going to be Japan in 2 weeks' time, but also I'll be in Formula E next weekend. So more stuff coming out, probably on Formula Fan TV from Madrid. Driver interviews, getting up close and personal with the cars, hopefully live streams as well. That'll all be coming out there. So really exciting times. It's only possible because of your support. Formula E would not invite me out if it wasn't for your support. So I thank you massively, and I'm really heartened to see all the likes and subscribes and everything. But I'm going to record now, and I will see you